Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
It's not okay.
Always player 2.
But yeah. Welcome to Evening with an Artist, a podcast created by students for students, where animation junkies Jordan and Rich geek out about animation, interview industry professionals, and ask the questions you want answered. I'm Rich, and I love cartoons.
I'm Jordan, and I make cartoons.
Hey guys.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to Evening with an Artist.
Welcome back.
It's evening time.
It sure
and,
is.
You're going to listen to some artists. Cool.
So, guys, we just got back from seeing the Super Mario movie.
Super Mario Brothers movie.
Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Let's not go down that road.
I just say Mario movie.
I know.
Even though it's called
you're
Super Mario Bros.
Mario
Movie.
Lover.
I am. I am a Nintendo fan, okay?
Yeah. I'm a Luigi lover.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to be left behind, as he seemed to be a little bit in this movie.
Yeah. But we'll get into that.
We'll get into that later.
First of all, guys, just a heads up. This is a super spoilery review. It's not gonna be super structured like some of our other reviews. We're not doing a ton of research. It's a first impression right after we saw the film.
Yeah, it's fresh.
Exactly. It's a fresh take.
Fresh takes on what we just witnessed.
Yeah. And
eagerly anticipated.
Yeah.
So, quickly, first impressions.
Okay.
Were you happy?
Okay, so if you guys have listened to some of our other chit chats, where
Jordan had apprehensions,
you would know that I was concerned. So what I will say is, yes, they did start with Mario and Luigi in the quote unquote real world in Brooklyn, which was great. Like, I didn't hate it at all. It's about the origin story, right? They're saying that this plumber guy from the real world flew down a pipe and got stuck in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Plumber Brothers.
So, yeah, both of them. Player 1 and Player 2. But, yeah, I was totally fine with it because there was no live action to be seen, and that is all that mattered to me, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was fine. I enjoyed the way that my first impression of the way it looked. It looks great.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I will say we saw it in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see it in IMAX 3D, and we were sitting in the back, so the screen was small.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, the 3D did literally nothing for me.
I would say that the 3D, I think with most of the time with 3D, you notice it for a little bit, and then it goes away. So I noticed it in the beginning, which this was literally shown on the trailer, where Bowser's ship is coming down and it's snowing. I noticed it when the snow was flying past and at the camera.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that I noticed. But eventually it does really kind of lose its effect. You basically just see how kind of squishy, plushy, round Mario is.
Yeah, sort of.
That's about it.
I wouldn't even notice that it's 3D, but every once in a while I'd turn my head a bit and look under my glasses.
Yeah.
And I'd see how far apart the lines are staggered, and I'd be like, oh yeah, right, this is super 3D.
Yeah.
But when I look straight at it again, I know it's 3D, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't offer me any, Illumination, they sometimes push their 3D really well, coming right at you, and I didn't find this movie really did much of that.
They had so many more opportunities that they didn't take in order to really make it eye-grabbing. For example, Despicable Me did with, the spaceship coming in with the point.
Yeah.
That was purposeful.
Yeah.
This movie was made, and then they were we'll also put it out in 3D.
Yeah.
It didn't have a ton of that push. They literally thought about the film around making it 3D. At least that's the impression that I'm getting.
Yeah. But anyways, obviously we're just killing time and everybody really wants to know the meat of what we're going to talk about. What is the story?
Yeah.
Which we'll tell you after we discuss the trailers before the movie. Because there were some cool trailers.
There were some good ones. I actually got excited.
Some of the first ones, we don't know.
Yeah, we were slightly late. Totally my fault. But we got in and we were just at the end of the Guardians trailer.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah, which probably was one of the earlier ones. I don't think we missed very much.
Presumably, yeah.
Presumably.
That movie looks good.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is already dropped.
Ooh, I'll have to listen to
Awesome
that.
Mix
Because they always
3.
have really good soundtracks.
I am the least impressed with this one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's got some cool stuff on it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I haven't sat and listened to all the songs, like, together, so
right.
I don't know, but as far as I can tell, it doesn't have the same feel as Awesome Mix Volume 1 and 2, which both, like, I went out and bought the vinyls. I was like, yeah,
well, they're
so
really
great.
good.
Yeah, so I don't think I'll go out and buy this one.
Maybe after you see it, the one thing that's cool about listening to the mix is, like, it brings back the scenes that it was playing in the film, at least that's for true. Me. It, like, brings a visual forward. So maybe after you see the movie, the, like, sequence of the third volume will, like, bring forth better, like, images and make you more into it.
I mean, even at the end of the Mario movie where they play ELO's Mr. Blue Sky, all you can see is a little baby Groot dancing around.
I know. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah.
But anyways, Guardians 3, it looks cool. They're going to have, like, Cosmo, the astronaut dog and stuff. Like, that's going to be fun.
Let's talk about the other live-action one that came up. Because we won't be on these too long.
Full trailer for the Barbie movie.
I'm so excited.
Just that very first thing where she, like, walks into frame and it's just showing her heels, and then she steps out of her heels and her feet are still up like that. And you're like, oh my god, this is gonna be so good.
And the fact that, like, when they're sitting in the car and the car's so undersized to them,
like a tiny piece of plastic.
It's so good. Like, it just, like, it, like, reminds you. And it brings you, like, back. And I wasn't even a Barbie person when I was a kid at all.
Hey, me neither.
I was the girl that was into Lego, and I just wanted the Lego. And when I got Barbies, I was not that excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, like, there's still Barbies somewhere at my old house, like, in a little storage bin or something, but...
Just covered in cobwebs.
Yeah.
Sad fate.
They were, like, I wasn't huge on them. And I've really been liking kind of seeing, I don't know, the way the dolls have been going now.
Bratz dolls way better for children.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, the Barbie, it looks hilarious. I will totally go see it. And it's one of those teaser trailers, you don't even know what the plot is. Yeah. Right? We don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to see it, and I think it's going to be hilarious.
I mean, I know a little bit about the plot, that they're in Barbie Land. Mm-hmm. And then I think Barbie and Ken leave Barbie Land and go to the real world. But it only ever shows us footage from Barbie Land. It doesn't show us anything in the real world. So I have no idea. Like, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the real world. Mm-hmm. Barbie Land, super cool. I think everyone there is either Barbie or Ken, which is weird. Yeah. Barbie has a lot of friends. Yeah. Where are all her friends? I don't know. But yeah. Or maybe it's
Barbie and Ken's.
Like one club, resort where all the Barbies and Kens hang out and their friends aren't allowed there because they're that elitist.
Maybe it's like a kid only has a collection of just Barbies and Kens and no friends, and, like, they're just living in that universe.
Maybe.
I mean, it's another Lego situation.
Lego, yeah. Thing. But yeah, it's gonna be funny.
It's gonna
be be good.
Michael Cera's in it as, like, a side character, which is hilarious.
You just saw him standing.
I love Michael Cera so much, and he was in everything for a while, and, like, I haven't seen him in a while, so this will be great. And then the main actress is amazing.
Margot Robbie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then the guy from the Marvel movie and from Kim's Convenience. I'm really bad with names.
Simu Liu.
Thank you.
Yes.
So that's great.
Yeah.
And then the guy from Notebook.
Ryan Gosling.
Thank you. Sorry, guys.
Like Kingston or
Please
something.
Don't hate me.
He's a local boy.
He's from Kingston?
It might not be Kingston, but somewhere very close in Ontario.
That's cute.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about
a cartoon movie trailer that we saw real quick.
So Trolls
band together. I've been seeing these little ads on like Insta or like Twitter feeds, and like never looking at them because I never have the sound on my phone. And I don't care about Trolls. Like, I saw the first Trolls movie. I think there's 3 or 4. I don't know. It was good. Yeah. It wasn't bad.
I actually still haven't seen them, and I feel bad because I have some friends that really, really like it. So I feel like I would enjoy it.
Yeah. They are enjoyable movies to watch. This one, even at the beginning of the trailer, I was like, this looks stupid. I don't want to see this at all. And then when I realized how it's like a boy band and they're trying to get back together and it's just making all these stupid boy band jokes, I was like, oh, this is actually going to be pretty funny.
Yeah. When I was seeing it, I was like, okay, this is kind of like growing on me. And then they made 3 boy band references in one sentence. And I was like, that's it. You got me.
Yeah.
And they know they got us too. They're like catching the parents and, the other people watching.
And then hilarious. When they like change formats to like go into like a drug trip cartoon, like 2D cartoon,
yes,
like
that's right.
I noticed we all had audible reactions to that. And like that was cool.
2D, guys. I'll never stop saying it. 2D will always have a place, and I think having 2D segments in a 3D film is always good.
Yeah, it's just
always good.
It's so cool to see.
It's always good.
And that like weird old kind of 2D like like 70s feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really funky. I really liked it. Also, they changed the style a few times too, so I'm interested to see that whole sequence.
Yeah,
but I'm already like, love it.
Yeah,
like, love it. Do it more.
Yeah, I'm excited about that first
little hint
of migration,
which
I had never heard about. I was not aware that it was a thing that was coming out, but I just saw this thing and I was like, oh, it's all ducks. It's ducks. And I was hitting my girlfriend like, it's ducks. I'm going to see this.
Oh, my God.
I like ducks.
You do.
So,
I mean, I love ducks, too. Who doesn't like ducks? It was funny because my partner was like, oh, maybe it's going to be like Duck Hunt or something. And I was like, that would be hilarious, but Nintendo isn't going to be putting out a trailer for the next movie before we've even seen the movie.
Also, I don't think they're going to do a Duck Hunt movie because that would get a lot of mixed feelings.
It would, and also
it's not a lot of nostalgia for Duck Hunt. Like, I mean, it was great at the time.
It's funny because I'm like would never go hunting or anything like that, but I loved Duck Hunt as a kid. Even though like part of it just like made me sad because like I'd feel sad for like shooting the ducks, but it was also just. I had a gun and I had a Nintendo system.
The dog happy.
Yeah. But like who would want to use the gun? It was the only like game I could use the gun with. That I had as a kid.
Come out with more of those gun games, and they probably did, but I'm not aware of what they are.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
I had Duck Hunt.
Yeah, I only had Duck Hunt because mine came in a half pack with Mario and Duck Hunt.
Yeah, that was like the original like release. Like you buy the console, you get Mario and Duck Hunt. In that one.
And that's what I had.
I still have it.
I don't have mine anymore. It got stolen. Very disappointing.
That is disappointing.
But yeah, the trailer was like, we have no idea what it's about. I mean, other than it's about migration. Yeah. I called the name.
The weather changes and ducks fly away.
Yeah.
That's more or less.
Yeah. It was cool. Like it looks cool and cinematic. It's got ducks in it. Like it's gonna be good. But it was just as it started, I was like, it's gonna be called Migration. And then the title popped up, Migration. And I was
you
like...
had no prior knowledge of this?
No prior knowledge.
Some insider information
None.
That you knew what it was going to be?
None.
You just called it?
I called it before it happened. But I was like, I mean, it's kind of an obvious title. It's almost always like a one-word thing, and it's these ducks, and they're all flying south or whatever. I'm like, it's going to be called Migration.
I thought it was going to be called Ducks Unlimited, and part of the proceeds go to keep marshlands alive so that duck hunters have more ducks to hunt.
Oh, my God.
But apparently not.
Apparently not. He didn't quite hit on the nose there. But yeah, one more. What was the most important trailer, Rich?
Of life? So yeah, also the new Spider-Verse. I believe it's called Across the Spider-Verse.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trailer for the new Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah. Oh, so excited.
I mean, I don't even know. Like, there's so many spider personas in the Spider-Verse, and in this movie alone, like I think we've talked about the poster a long time ago on a different episode. And they just jam pack every possible iteration of Spider-Man into this thing. Most of them probably won't have speaking lines.
No.
But like there's so many, and I can't even fathom the number that will have.
Yeah, they'll have like a 1 second moment on screen for a lot of them.
Yeah.
But it's going to be awesome. I avoided watching the trailers for a little bit just because...
Because that's what you do, but now that we have a podcast, you can't do that anymore.
I have to watch the stupid trailers. But I also knew that, like, I was like, it's going to be in the theater. So I was like, I might as well wait till it's on the big screen to see it for the first time. So I did.
I had seen it already, but...
Yeah. Yeah. Rich literally sent it to me, and I was like, I'm not ready.
So, like, days ago.
I was like, I'm not watching it. I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But cool.
I don't like spoilers. I like to go to a movie as blind as possible. Because even I asked, like, a friend of mine saw the Mario movie 2 days ago. And it's my fault because I asked. But I was like, hey, like, what did you think? Is it good? And then they kind of gave me, like, a yes and no kind of an answer.
Right.
And I was like, crap, now that's in my head... Because I'm, like, talking to somebody who's really into Nintendo, right? So it was like, oh, I shouldn't have even asked. Because I don't want any other kind of an opinion going on into it, you know? Because I was going in with a pretty... Where I knew I would like it, but just, like, wasn't sure what was happening. And I like to go in knowing the least amount possible.
So, to serve all the Jordans in the crowd, we won't talk anymore about the Spider-Verse movie, except to say that it looks just as good as the first.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
I could say a lot of things, but I'm not going to say anything. And we'll start talking
We could talk about it for a whole thing. Yeah.
Because, yeah, I still really want to know how you really feel about the Mario movie.
I want to know how you feel about it, too. Okay. Well, let's dive into the plot.
Okay.
And just kind of go over it quickly.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there. So, obviously, like we said, the film opens up where we see Mario and Luigi in their real life in Brooklyn.
Well, at first, we see Bowser
You're right.
taking this Ice Kingdom from penguins.
Which was totally spoiled in the trailer.
I don't know these penguins, man. I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay, so the penguins are from the Ice World levels in the Super Mario Bros. Like games. So like
the side scrollers.
But
like not the old ones.
Not the old ones.
Yeah, okay.
The newer side scrollers. Yeah.
I played all the old games.
Yeah.
I know all the old references.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got a lot of the references. Penguins. But yeah. So the penguins and those levels, those ice levels are like so hard because the penguins go on their belly, which I'm kind of surprised we didn't really see them do that much, but not that they were in it a lot, but yeah, they go on their belly and they like slide, and you have to like jump over them, and I always found them really hard. Annoying. Yeah. Because they just come from off screen and just like fly by the screen constantly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
So that's what they were. Yeah, so we see, just like from the trailer, we see Bowser taking the Ice Kingdom, and he steals the Superstar.
Yes.
Yeah. And then cut to Brooklyn.
And we see this incredible commercial for this plumbing company. And Mario and Luigi are doing the high-pitched voices.
Yeah.
To push their plumbing company, and it's amazing.
It was amazing.
There's that little bit where they're lying down on stools and they have the yellow capes on with the wind.
Yeah.
Like, that was a great call out to the Super Mario suit. That you get with the feather, because I'm upset that I never actually saw that.
I am kind of upset that didn't pop up.
I wish there had been like a register somewhere of like what the power-ups are that you could get out of the power-up blocks.
Yeah.
You know, just anywhere like in the background. I didn't notice any. It would have been interesting to see. Because there were a lot of suits that I guess didn't make the cut.
There definitely weren't. We definitely missed out. I'll say for like and again, I don't want to let's go over the plot, but I will say like they hit less nostalgia than I was expecting for some of it.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, so their Mario Bros commercial was adorable and hilarious, and it set a really good tone for like the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
We got to see that they like, you know, they're still living with their family above like the diner that I'm assuming they own. It was
cool that they had like a whole family.
Yeah, that was really cute. I loved the like Mario family.
Yeah.
What's their last name? Like,
we don't need to know.
Who's everybody there? Like, of course they didn't really super dive into the whole thing, but we do find out that like the family is, especially like the dad, he's really like hard on Mario. And he feels like he's like a disappointment. He's dragging his brother down. Maybe you get the sense that like he's you know, Luigi's kind of the favorite.
Maybe. Well, Luigi's little brother.
Yeah.
Little twin brother,
like,
apparently.
Yeah, the little twin brother.
For some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, the pressure's on Mario to be...
Yeah. He's supposed to be the protective big brother, which he totally is.
Well, he's clearly not super happy that they've like quit their jobs to start this plumbing company, which they've had no clients. I guess by the time they got to dinner, they had the one client, and they kind of messed things up.
Yeah,
and like blew up all their pipes.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that whole sequence.
Yeah.
I thought that was really great.
Thing.
The whole thing with the dog. Yeah.
So then they see on the TV that Brooklyn is being flooded. I believe this is their fault, right? The when they broke the pipes in this apartment building, the pipes were breaking all the way down the thing, like all the way down through the structure.
I never thought about it as being their fault, but yeah, I wouldn't.
I mean,
it's possible.
It was pretty coincidental that all of a sudden Brooklyn is flooding when they've just like damaged, and you saw all the pipes going into the building, right? So that's the conclusion that I drew.
Yeah, that's a fair conclusion.
That's their fault, and I don't think they drew that conclusion either. And so you see, some lady on there who's Pauline, apparently.
Yeah, Mayor Pauline. Mayor Pauline.
Saying, someone needs to come save Brooklyn. And Mario's like, we can still do it. And they run out to save Brooklyn.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, so we see Pauline, obviously, in Super Mario Odyssey. She's the mayor of New Donk City. I don't know a ton about the lore of Pauline, but she's supposedly like Mario's girlfriend or something.
Yeah. And apparently the history is that she's the princess in Donkey Kong that he's trying to run up and save from Donkey Kong. Yeah. She's like the Alter Peach or whatever kind of a deal, I guess, kind of. Yeah. But yeah, she's really cool. And in New Donk City and Odyssey, she's pretty cool. But yeah, I saw her and I was like, it's Pauline, like immediately. Yeah. So I'm sure she's wearing all red. I just assumed it was Carmen Sandiego. What do I know? No, I do remember her from New Donk City.
Yeah. But yeah, so they see the problem. They're like, we're going to, like, this is how we make it. This is how we become heroes. And clearly Mario's feeling down on himself and he just wants to show everybody that he can do it. So they go underground in the sewers to, like, fix the problem.
Yeah, way deep into the city waterworks.
Yeah.
Like, deep under.
Yeah.
And they inevitably end up getting sucked into a big pipe.
Yeah.
That takes them on a magical journey and splits them up partway.
Yeah.
And Luigi gets spit out in the Darklands.
I think it's called Darklands. So he ends up in like Bowser's realm.
Yeah.
Bowser's
Kingdom. Realm. That's what I would rather call it.
Yeah.
What were they thinking? They didn't run this over with me at all.
I know.
And Mario gets spit out in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
And it directly in front of Toad, which is convenient.
Yeah, it sure was. Also, right here is where I was like, okay, he's thrown out and like he immediately runs into Toad and Toad's just like, hey, how's it going? Let's go to the Mushroom Kingdom, blah, blah, blah. That's a good mushroom, that's a bad mushroom. And we're going
to be best friends.
You're not asking at all why there's a random another human in the Mushroom Kingdom. It's only happened one other time.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Toads are beings of perpetual hope.
Yeah. They're just positive and they just take life as it comes to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he leads him to Mushroom Kingdom. We get to see a nice, beautiful pan out of Mushroom Kingdom, which we see a lot in the poster and the trailer and stuff, but you get to really see it. And it looks really cool, of course. Yeah. So he takes them into, you can see that's like basically Toad Town at the base. And then through a series of pipes and ledges, you can go up to the top of the hill where Princess Peach has her castle.
Yeah.
And it's very like, it's Mario slapped all over it.
Yeah. Now, immediately when he meets Toad and, he tells him, I got split up from my brother, he went to this dark place with lava, and Toad's like, oh, that's this place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, well, how do I get him? Well, we need to go see the princess. So that's why they run to...
Yeah.
To the kingdom, whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're like going up in all the cool ways that you platform through Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, we had seen that before.
Yeah.
and I believe talked about it.
Yeah, a lot of that part was like in the trailer, which it's not surprising because it's like the first part, and it's funny because Mario's like, where the fuck am I? And he's going through the pipes and he's getting like knocked about everywhere. So that was a cute, funny segment. And then they get to Peach's castle and we get plopped right into a council meeting where they're all aware that Bowser's like now got the star and that he's on the way to Mushroom Kingdom.
It's kind of weird. It seems like everybody always knows what everybody else is doing in this thing. Like they're both opposite sides of like warring cities or whatever, or I don't know, someone invading everybody.
Yeah.
But they always know what they're doing, like what the Koopas are doing, and the Koopas always know what the Toads are doing.
Yeah. And they never even showed like one scene where they showed like how a Koopa Troopa was like hiding somewhere.
Like a spy anywhere?
Yeah.
It was
that
weird.
Really bothered me.
That was weird.
But we'll get into the bothered stuff in a bit.
I mean, the movie can only be so long because it's for children and they all have to pee.
Exactly. Peach decides that she's gonna go to Donkey Kong Country out in the, what did she call it, Jungle Country? Did she say it's
Jungle Lands or something?
Jungle something. Sure. And she's gonna go get the army from there and to help take on Bowser. And on her way out the door from the council meeting, she bumps into Mario. And I love this part because Mario was like, "Princess," and he was like reaching out, and they made it seem like she smiled, but really she was just grabbing him and flipping him on his back.
Yeah.
Like, she's not taking any of that crap. She's like, "Who the fuck are you? Don't touch me."
She's a very empowered princess.
Yeah, it was great. Then they talked, and they were like, "Oh, we have the same goal," because Mario's like, he's got my brother and whatever. And then Peach says, like, "You can come with me, but you gotta
go through the training course."
Yeah, you gotta prove it to me that you should be able to go.
Which was a fun montage.
It was great. Course. It was great. And I mean, they showed a piece of the training course in the trailer.
Yes.
So we knew it was coming.
Yeah, we'd seen bits of that.
Yeah, and that was great.
Yeah. Because
it's just a nice little nod to the 2D, the reasoning behind it, whatever.
Yeah.
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 And so then
really cool.
they went to Donkey Kong Country.
Yep.
They pleaded with the king to lend them his army.
Yeah.
To fight off Bowser. You know, because once Bowser takes the Mushroom Kingdom, he's going to come for Donkey Kong Country too.
Yeah.
And the king was like, "Yeah, no, he was great. Cranky Kong, crotchety old man. I loved him." But, he was like, "No chance." Then Mario pushed him, kind of, I mean, not physically, but, kind of pushed the subject. And then he was like, "Fine, you can have my army if you battle my son, Donkey Kong." And Mario was like, "Cool, we'll do it." Because Mario's an idiot.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The Donkey Kong Mario fight was great.
It was great. And yeah, I loved just the beginning where, and I mean, again, in the trailer spoils so much, but he like grabs him by the head.
We're spoiling literally everything for anyone.
But it's already out. That's the difference. People don't have to listen to this until they've seen it.
It's true. And if you choose to listen to it, that's on you.
Yeah. But yeah, so he like grabs Mario and throws him down and kind of like Hulk slaps him or whatever. Hilarious. That was great. And
that was only a taste of what he had coming. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And he's just beating him all over the place. And then finally Mario's like gets a power up. So his first power up was like the mini one, which was hilarious. The only thing that was annoying.
I don't know this mini mushroom either. Like,
oh really?
This
okay.
Came up a lot, but I'm not aware of the mini mushroom.
Okay, so yeah, I can't put an exact timeline. It is in the side scrollers. So whenever you become mini Mario, so you can run on water and anything you're very floaty. So when you jump, because there's so much like less gravity pull for you. So when you jump really high and long and far and slow. And also when you run, you can run on water and you can run really fast. And what happened in some of the newer Mario games was there was like mini pipes. So you would find a mini mushroom to become mini to go in the little pipes.
Right. I like that.
That's
cool.
Yeah, it was really good. So what was annoying, it was cute they did the mini mushroom thing, but then like he became mini and I was like, why aren't you super fast? Like,
yeah.
He could have actually like...
Well, I mean, he didn't get squashed by Donkey Kong, so...
He got grabbed though, and then like... Donkey Kong flicked him or whatever.
That was good.
So I get that they were trying to be funny, but like if they were staying true to the power up, he probably actually would have like, if he'd figured it out fast enough, he would have actually had a kind of an advantage, temporary advantage.
Yeah.
Which they could have, I feel like they could have played up before Donkey Kong just, like, got him immediately. But yeah, so then the best power-up, though, was the kitty cat power-up. And you didn't know what that was from.
Which I don't know what that's
from. Okay. So the cat power-up is from 3D World, which I believe came out on Nintendo Wii U. I don't think it came out on Wii. I think it was a Wii U game. It's also on Switch now. And they have the updated Switch version also has Bowser's Fury on it. Where like
Is that a different game?
So what they did is it's DLC, but it's like a sandbox like sequence game where it's like and it's very, very cat power like focused.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a whole cat power focused part of the game. And I haven't gotten to play it yet because I didn't want to just rebuy 3D World just yet. But apparently Bowser's Fury makes it almost worth it because it's a full amount game, even though it's a remake. So, but apparently Bowser's Fury makes it worth it. But yeah, that's where all that like cat stuff comes from.
Interesting.
And it's a big power up in that game. And it's fun.
So it makes you very fast and agile.
Yeah, fast and agile. You can like...
And you have kitty cat
you can dash and scratch. It's also like uses a mechanic to like solve puzzles and stuff. Sort of, like mildly.
Right.
So that was cute though. Like Cat Mario in 3D on the screen was great. He looks super cute.
Yeah. He kicked Donkey Kong's ass.
He did.
As Kitty Cat Mario.
Yeah.
And then they got the army.
They got the army.
The king was true to his word.
Yeah.
Which I didn't necessarily think he would be because he was such a dink.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so then they go down. I haven't played Mario Kart since 64. So I don't know how kart customization works, but if it works like that kind of thing, like where they had like their like chassis and then they're like their wheels, and then like whatever.
That's exactly how it works like, now.
That's cool.
Yeah,
like, that was cool, and they all went to the things and like spun the whole
That was
things.
adorable. Like, what I thought they were going to do with this sequence is because like when you're doing it in Mario Kart, it shows you like instantly, right? So like you flip it. You flip the vehicle, you flip the tires, like you can keep flipping everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to commit. So when they like all kind of like, they went through and then they kind of like committed and pressed A, it makes sense because they were going to do that whole cool sequence where it was like being built and like painted. Some monkeys like automated building. Yeah. Like that was really cute and I loved it. But I thought they were going to do something funny about how like someone keeps like flipping through different ones to like remod it.
Yeah.
And it's like getting like tangled up or whatever. But yeah, I was so excited for the Mario Kart part, and it totally lived up.
Yeah, I liked it.
I loved it.
It had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it was great. And obviously, so they all get out on their carts, they run out, and then they go off a big jump, go through the clouds, and then they end up on Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
Obviously, which was great. Essentially, the idea of them like taking the army on Rainbow Road was it was supposed to be a shortcut back to Mushroom Kingdom where they could catch Bowser on the way.
Ready for Bowser.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. They were supposed to because he was supposed to be already going there, and it was the only way to get there faster than Bowser.
But bad news, Bowser's spies had tipped him off that they were going to take the Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
So he had his Koopa army with their own go-karts that they got somehow. I don't know who's making their go-karts. Like, you think the Donkey Kongs would be, like, the only game in town, but...
No, I think... Well, and, like, Bowser's... I don't know, I was kind of surprised that Bowser...
Wasn't on a go-kart?
Wasn't in a cart. He was, like, up on his ship, because there's even, in 3D World, Bowser has, like, a car that looks like a car that has, like... It's, like, pink and green, has, like, spikes on it. He's had, like, trains and stuff, and, like, I don't know, he's had a bunch of stuff. I was just surprised he wasn't in... on the Mario Kart action. It was just like his Troopas fighting, but maybe that was just kind of his style in the movie. But yeah, that whole, and correct me if I'm wrong guys if you've seen it before, but like the cart with like the Koopa that had like the teeth in the front and it could like
like cow catcher thing in the front.
Yeah, never seen that before.
No, probably not. So I'm sure they made that just for the
maybe they didn't. I don't know. You never know.
It's true. Yeah. But
Either way. So yeah, they show up to derail them and everything's going great and they defeat this like the Koopa with like the big vehicle and then he turns into a blue shell, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
So he turns into a blue shell, flies after them, does the spinny around them, and poof, explodes.
Yeah. And hits Mario and DK so hard
yeah.
that he breaks the road.
Yeah.
And they fall into the waters below and
yeah.
get eaten by a giant eel.
Yeah.
And they're dead.
And and the movie ended.
Yeah, and that was it. Thank you for listening, guys. Peach and Toad go back to the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah. Everyone else gets captured.
Everyone else gets captured.
Yeah.
I love that they use those little like propeller ship things.
Yeah, the clown cars.
Is that what you call them?
That's what they're called, clown cars.
And they're from Mario World, I think, right? Super Mario World.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're in like Mario Maker and stuff too. I mean, I guess everything is in Mario
probably.
Maker. But yeah, I feel like that's where people will see them the most these days.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we've missed a lot of details because we're going through Mario's story, but we haven't talked about Luigi's story coming out.
Correct.
And again, of course, this is always going to happen.
Yeah.
Because nobody cares about Luigi.
Poor player too.
Luigi's story, as short as it was also great.
Yeah.
Because he comes out in the Dark Lands or whatever. Immediately starts getting chased around by a bunch of dry bones.
Yeah.
Goes and hides in this like abandoned castle, and sure enough, he's like surrounded by Shy Guys that he doesn't notice, and they take him prisoner.
I
and
love
bring
Shy
him to
Guys.
Bowser.
Shy Guys are my favorite.
They're cute.
They're so cute.
I have never played a Luigi's Mansion, but when he came out and he pulled his flashlight out, I was like, "Oh fucking yeah, this is so cool!" And then he like immediately dropped it and ran away. And I was like, "What? But now he can't do any flashlight stuff when he gets in the building." So that was that disappointed me.
It disappointed me too.
I feel like so many things they could have done with Luigi, they didn't do.
I know.
But anyways, he gets brought to Bowser. Bowser kind of tortures out of him.
Yeah.
In the most malicious way.
Yeah, pulling hairs out of his mustache.
That he knows Mario, and that he's his brother.
Yeah.
And that he's very attractive to princesses. So that's disappointing because we also haven't mentioned that Bowser's true goal is to marry Peach because he is so in love with her, and he keeps singing songs about it on piano, which is great. Like the great Jack Blackisms of Bowser.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, Jack Black probably had this in his contract. I'll do Bowser, but I get to sing. Yeah. Because it's not a musical show. That's not what it was.
That was the only singing.
That was the only singing, and hey, I loved it. It's didn't hate it at
because
all.
like Bowser is such the villain, but then and he's all like rock and like hard and like on his dumb floating lava island, like all the Koopas are like rocking out. Yeah. He's just sitting in his chair like, yeah, this is great. And then he goes into his like singing, and he gets all like super into it. Yeah, but he's also like
he comes off metal, but he's really soul
and poetic. Yeah, but
yeah, hilarious.
It was good.
It was good, and it sounded good, and yeah, I thought it was just funny. Yeah, essentially the movie is again, it's the Mario trope, right? He didn't steal like Peach this time, which I'm very thankful for, but
he's trying.
He stole Luigi, so it's basically the same, except he stole Luigi this time, while also having his own ideas of taking over the world, and the idea is he wants to share the world with Peach. Yeah, and that's why he wanted the star, because it's going to make him invincible, and he wanted to do it with Peach.
Now I do think obviously, I'm not gonna say obviously, but I did. So there it is. It's
out there.
Normally Mario's trying to save Peach, but, they want to show an empowered woman. At the same time, they have Luigi, who's done so many Luigi's Mansions, where he's just going around scared all the time. Mm-hmm. They did a very good job of establishing Luigi as being scared of everything from the very beginning of this movie. Yeah. He was scared of everything. Everything. And it was great, because, he'd always still go through, even though he's scared all the time, which is cool. But, to have him be the one in peril. Yeah, that's why he's so lovable. To cut Luigi out of his movie.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
It's not okay.
Always player 2.
But yeah, it was still cool. And Peach was super badass.
Oh yeah, she was fantastic. Yeah. It's funny. Okay, here's the funny thing too. So Peach goes back to Mushroom Castle, and she's telling all the Toads that they need to evacuate because Bowser's on his way, and she's getting ready to face him. And she's her and little Captain Toad. He's not called Captain Toad, but
no, he's just Toad.
He's fucking Captain Toad. Okay.
I guess if you want to call him a captain.
Well, he's got the backpack. Well, you wouldn't know who Captain Toad is, but there is a Captain Toad. And he's got the backpack and the frying pan, and it's a thing.
Right.
Maybe he just
he'll
hasn't.
Be captain in the next movie.
Maybe he just hasn't been made captain
He's obviously earned a promotion.
So you see the scene that's really cool where she kicks up and she grabs a halberd, and like he has a thing. And when she did that, I was like, oh yeah. And then I was like, what did she have before? Like, she went to fight Bowser with no weapon.
Well, she didn't go to fight Bowser. She went to recruit the army.
She did, but she was going to go fight with them that whole time. And then when they were going to...
Yeah, but their plan was to go back, right? She went to recruit the army to go back to defend Mushroom Kingdom.
I guess so.
So this is the part at Mushroom Kingdom.
And she doesn't necessarily really need a weapon. She didn't even really use... She didn't even use the halberd,
it was
really.
interesting that she... Well, she did. She set it on fire and then set off the King Babam with it.
That wasn't the halberd, though. She stole that spear from a Koopling, because at that point she'd been like,
even the halberd was just like in the ground and like some like.
No, I know, but so what happens is she grabs the halberd. They go to face Bowser. They get surrounded, and he says, "You'll marry me," and she's holding it, and she's like, "I won't," and then he's like, hurts Toad, and she drops the halberd. She's like, "Fine, I'll marry you," and then she goes in. So that's later fair. We see her like light a spear. She grabs that from a Koopaling. And is using the spear that's on fire to light the bomb.
What's a Koopa? I've never even heard the word Koopaling.
Koopaling? Oh, it's just one of his little Koopa guys. One of the little dudes.
Koopaling?
Yeah, Koopaling.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I just know Koopas.
Koopa.
Paracoopa.
Koopaling. Paracoopa. Koopa. Is the Paracoopa the flying one?
Yeah, it's a Paracoopa.
Okay. I could be wrong, but I've heard Koopaling thrown out quite a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Anywho. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't played all the games. I played all the old games.
Yeah, I played the old games, but I've like also kept up with a lot of the new stuff. So I recognize most stuff. I'm not so deep into the lore that like I can remember all the names of everything.
Yeah, a few things from other games that I didn't necessarily recognize.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Happens. Yeah. So anyway, so she agrees to marry Bowser.
Yes.
She's going to marry Bowser.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is captured.
Yeah.
At the same time, Mario and DK are inside this eel, just like hating on each other because they've got this great like hate relationship where they're working together. But DK is super sore that Mario beat him in a fight.
Yeah,
and won't admit that he lost fairly, and they're just kind of going at each other.
And it was I love the dynamic. It was really great. It was great. And
it's like the reluctant, like, buddy cop thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm stuck with you.
Yeah, so they escape from the eel. They go up, and again, like, Mario did end up saving DK's life, so, like, they kind of, bonded a little closer after that, but they still kind of have this, like, funny, just sort of, like, he's like, well, don't worry, I won't tell anybody. Good, don't tell anybody, you saved my life, like, thing going on. And they end up finding, like, one of DK's, like, cannons, and it's not a cannon, his rocket. Off his car. And they ride it off to the Mushroom Kingdom.
Where, at the same time, Peach has already surprised Bowser by having an ice flower in her wedding bouquet.
Loved that.
Freezing him in ice.
Yeah.
And then just going and attacking everyone else at the wedding, which is great.
Oh, yeah, it was so great. She stole the show, hands down. And Bowser was gonna, like, kill everybody and sacrifice them all in her honor.
Sacrificing all his prisoners in her honor into the pit of lava.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Obviously, almost got Luigi, but then they saved him. Everything was all well and great, but Bowser did manage to get out of, like, the ice thing, of course.
Yeah.
Because he's Bowser.
But not until after Mario and DK got up there, and the sequence of them coming up on the thruster, getting hit by a bullet bill or whatever was flying at them.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, having to platform kind of back and forth through this
That's
Mushroom
right.
Kingdom city.
Because they were at the base of the Mushroom Kingdom. Yeah, so
and
they had to platform
Mario
up.
Gets the leaf, and he gets the raccoon suit.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah.
Tanuki suit. I can't believe they said raccoon and not Tanuki.
The Tanuki suit was a different suit where you could turn into a statue. The raccoon suit was the one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought they were both Tanuki.
No. Because the raccoon... Oh, what was the Tanuki from? Was it in Super Mario 3? I don't know. But there was... Yeah,
I do remember what you're saying, the stone one. But then I thought the Tanuki...
But the Tanuki suit, I think, would also let you fly. It was like you also looked kind of raccoony, but less raccoony.
Because a Tanuki is like in Japan, it's like it's a very raccoon-looking like bear. Yeah. So they said raccoon, and then they also Luigi said
and a red panda kind of thing or something.
Yeah, and they like. So they said, why do you look like a raccoon? And then Luigi was like, why do you look like a bear? So they said raccoon and bear, but they didn't say Tanuki. And maybe you're right, but I thought Tanuki, I knew that he used to turn into stone, but I thought Tanuki, he was still a Tanuki, but it was just it just changed. He stopped being a stone guy, but he could fly because he even has, in Mario Kart and stuff, he's got a Tanuki cart and stuff. Like,
interesting.
Tanuki has been continuing through the series.
Yeah. I don't know. That's an interesting
So I was
point.
surprised, but maybe they did it because, like, maybe in Super Mario movie comes out in Japan, they'll say Tanuki and not raccoon.
Maybe. But I know with the leaf, like, you look like a raccoon and you could fly.
Yeah.
But you'd had your hat, right, with raccoon ears.
Yeah.
But when you got the Tanuki suit, like what was called the Tanuki suit in 3... I think it was 3.
I think you're right. 3, yeah. Super Mario 3.
That one, I think you could also fly.
Yeah.
But you could also hold down and turn into the statue.
Yeah, it was the brr, brr, and then you'd spin. You kind of like flu spin.
Well, you could spin as a raccoon too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with that suit, you didn't have your hat. You just had like a full like kind of hood on.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and I mean, there's a lot of evolutions that they didn't get to. There's a squirrel one, where he's like a flying squirrel.
Yeah, that's weird.
And he can like glide, which I almost thought is what they were doing until he wasn't gliding. He was like actually flying. Also, the whole like how much he was flying, that's not at all like what you can do in the games. You can't just fly everywhere
in
the
different
whole time.
Directions. No, but the games were side scrollers. So to be fair, you can kind of only do the one thing. And even like when you put on when you get the Super Mario feather, you can fly in both directions. You know, you can fly.
Yeah, you can fly in both directions.
Once you stop one direction, you can't turn around and fly
in
the other direction. You like glide down.
You fly up, and you can kind of hold for a bit, and then you fly down. Like it's very temporary.
And then you can pull back and catch a wind gust.
Yeah, the gust. And they go whoop.
Anyways,
good times.
So he got the raccoon or Tanuki costume, and he was flying, and then They all got up there, and they all, like, you know...
They were all looking cute and happy, and then Bowser saw it, he broke out.
They had their happy reunion.
Yeah, and he launched the giant, massive bullet bill to, like, go and destroy Mushroom Kingdom. So Mario, like, flies after it, and he, like, hits it in the eye.
His tail spins it in the eyeball, which was awesome.
It was. And then it was like, I'm gonna follow you now. So this is, like, the funny part, because... He's flying around trying to find I get that, like, he's flying around trying to find a place for it to blow up. And he sees the entryway that he came in from. And he's like, oh, I'm going to blow up that. And I'm like...
You're going to lead it into this pipe and blow it up somewhere else.
Well, and see, when I saw that, I thought, you're just going to destroy the way you got in and you'll never get back.
Oh, I thought he was literally sending it to Brooklyn to blow it up because Brooklyn sucks anyways. That's what I thought.
Well, that's the thing. I was like... not even like there wasn't even a flicker on his face like this might be a bad idea. I thought in like what was going to happen is he was going to destroy his gateway and never going to be able to go back home.
You thought he was purposely doing it, like...
Well, I thought that in my head I thought the story would be that he doesn't know where else to make it blow up, so he thinks the only solid place he can make it like actually
put it in this pipe and it will
kill
save the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, well, I didn't even really think about it going, to be honest. I didn't think about it going in the pipe because it's in this, like, inset stone wall. So I just thought it was going to go and hit the whole thing and explode because, to be fair, it's, like, way bigger than the pipe, right? Now, I know in the Mario world, anything can go, like,
It didn't, you know what I found weird? That they didn't make a lot of pipe sounds.
I know!
I don't know why.
I don't either.
But they all should have made pipe sounds.
I know, and he should have, like, I know.
1 star. Anyways.
Yeah, so it goes through the pipe thing and it gets small and it kind of like falls away and they're like, oh, that's, and then it kind of like, and then it goes, poof. So it's in like the void or whatever.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. That it like went into the void because it was too big to be contained by the
by the streams,
I guess, between the pipes,
or maybe because it had too much velocity to like go through the stream.
Blew up the limbo world, and basically created like a vortex.
Yeah.
That sucked everything from the Mushroom Kingdom into it and dumped it all in Brooklyn, but all it really sucked out was a handful of people and Bowser's dumb floating island.
Yeah.
Which was weird. Because there was a lot of stuff in the Mushroom Kingdom that wasn't pinned down. Like, I don't understand.
I know. It was super weird. And also, Bowser's thing was, like, way far away. So, it sucks a bunch of stuff into Brooklyn. And again, they're in Brooklyn. No one is there. The only person they see is this, like, childhood bully guy that comes up in a van. Okay? So, like, they're in the middle of the city. And I know that, like, obviously people would, like, run away if things were happening, but they didn't even show people running away. It was, like, a deserted city. Yeah. Until they see Mario and Luigi are, like, going awesome, and, like, they see his parents pop out of the window. Yeah. So... And then other people start kind of popping out of windows, but, like... At the end. No one's on the street. No one's on the street. No one's in the windows. New York. Like, in fucking Brooklyn. Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, they come back to the real world, in quotes... You can call it the real world. Yeah, the real world. Yeah, it's the cartoon. Yeah, okay, you're right. They come out to the real world. They go back home. I can't even say it. They go back to their home. They go home, and Bowser and all of them come with them. And this is where, like, the Mario and Bowser fight, like, Mario, Luigi, and Bowser fight happens. And... Yes, you remembered. Listen, it's not my fault. I mean, to be fair, Luigi immediately hides in a dumpster. Yeah, so he's hiding in a dumpster. Well, we don't know if he got, like, thrown in there or something. No, but he climbed right in. Yeah, he probably did. He definitely ran and hid in a dumpster as soon as he could. Yeah, which is fine. He didn't know what to do. The traditional, like, you know, other people try and fight him, but they immediately get knocked out, and then it's just Mario and Bowser, and they're doing a thing, and he can't fight them, and Peach is like, here, take the stars, so she whacks it over closer to Mario, like, but it ends up going further than him, so Mario's got to run for it. Bowser's belting out a fire blast, and we think Mario's, like, dead. Toasted. Oh, but he's saved. He's saved by Luigi with a manhole cover. And it was amazing. And that was like the sweetest part of the film. It was so great. And I thought that Luigi was going to hold that thing and Mario was going to go get the star and do his Mario thing. Mm-hmm. But then Mario reaches out for Luigi's hand and they jump to the star together and they both hit it at the same time. And they both get doused in flames. But they've got invincible power. Yeah. And then the invincibility music starts. Yeah. And they just beat the crap out of Bowser. Yeah. And it's fantastic. And it was great. That whole part was fantastic. And the people started to come out after and they got to see what happened. And yeah, he gave Bowser the boot or whatever. And then they force fed him a blue mushroom and made him small and put him in a jar. Yes. And that's more or less... That's basically that. Really quick. So, yeah. So the after part was basically like they did a funny with like Bowser playing the piano, but he ended up just being in a tiny little bird cage because he was still mini, and he was basically being held prisoner at Princess Peach's castle. We get to see like Mario and Luigi wake up on like a typical day, and you think they're waking up in Brooklyn, but no, they're in the Mushroom Kingdom. Obviously. But then they both go out to start their day and jump in a pipe. Yeah. You know they're going to Brooklyn to do work. I don't know why, because I'm sure they live in the Mushroom Kingdom for free. They don't need to pay for anything anymore. Like, they could be piping somewhere else in the Mushroom Kingdom. I didn't necessarily think they were going You think they work on the pipes in the Mushroom Kingdom? Well, that's the thing, because you're like, you see them go out there, and you're like, the Mushroom Kingdom pipes, maybe they do need help. I don't know. Like, they're doing something in the Mushroom Kingdom, which, like, we still don't know what that is, because now that the obstacle is out of the way for now, like, what exactly is their purpose to live in the Mushroom Kingdom? Like, we don't really know yet. Yeah. And then if you sit till the end of the credits, which if you didn't, we'll let you know what happens. But so you don't have to. So you don't have to worry about it. It was a very long wait on the credits to one scene, which I was kind of expecting. Which was down in the waterworks underneath Brooklyn. Yeah. In the big rooms full of pipes. Yeah. And... it was a Yoshi egg cracking. It cracks. Yeah. And that was that. And which, it cracks, and then nothing. And then nothing. And, like... and, like,
It's not like they didn't have Yoshis in the movie.
No,
they were in the background.
They were in the background, and it was cute.
Like, going through.
Yeah.
Shocking that they didn't feature Yoshi in the movie at all.
You know why? I have a theory.
Oh, okay. You don't know. You just have.
Well, okay. So here's my theory as to why they did this. I had a feeling they were going to do this, especially because we didn't see him in the trailer. If you were to sit down all the Mario games together, it goes Mario and Luigi, Mario and Luigi, Yoshi. Mario and Luigi, Yoshi. Back and forth, back and forth. Every second.
What are you talking about?
So if you go like through
Yoshi
a lot of the
didn't come
lore
until Mario World, which was like the 4th game.
No, I know. But like once he comes out, he's not in every game. Like Yoshi is in like usually every other game. So I had a feeling that he wasn't going to be in the first movie. They were going to save him for the second. Because everyone loves Yoshi, right? So the Yoshi egg alone is going to make people want to see the second one. And if anybody was a little disappointed in the first one, they're going to go see the second one because of Yoshi. So I had a feeling, especially when we just saw him in the background for that one part, I was like, that's the only time we're going to see him. He's going to be the whole draw of the second movie.
I guess. Yoshis aren't that cool.
Well, it's going to be a Chris Pratt and, like, the dinosaur situation, like in Jurassic World, okay? It's going to be Mario on a field.
Oh, and a team of Yoshis.
The 3 Yoshis come in, he, like, whispers to them, and, like, there's going to be a blue one, and they're going to be best friends, okay?
You're my boy, Blue. Let's fly.
Yeah, so that was super disappointing for sure. What I was just really deeply hoping for, especially because how little we saw Luigi in the movie. And, like, we can get into all that right now.
Yeah, now we're going to
get into it.
That was the plot. Everybody enjoyed it. We cheered. Yeah. We clapped.
Yeah.
No one did. But
but it was good. Preface this with saying, I enjoyed it. Didn't regret seeing it. Was good.
It was a good film.
It was a good film.
I liked the fact that whenever they took their hats off, their hair was so bristly.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Obviously, Luigi was barely in it. That was really annoying. He got grabbed and thrown in a dungeon, and that was his life for the whole film.
For like the whole
for the whole thing. He's hanging in the cages, right? The penguins are in the cages, and then we see that little blue squishy guy.
Yeah.
From Galaxy, I'm assuming.
I don't know.
You don't know, right?
I played part of Galaxy.
Okay.
I didn't finish it.
I think those little, like, any of the star dudes that talk, I think they're all from Galaxy. I'm assuming it was some kind of reference to Galaxy.
Maybe that makes sense.
Yeah, so the little Galaxy star dude in one of the cages was a Goomba.
Yeah, they never explained that.
That's really freaking weird because Goombas are like, quote unquote bad guys. So why do they not work for Bowser? Are they just bad guys to everybody? And why weren't Goombas in the rest of the film?
Wow, you're reading a lot into the Goomba thing.
I love Goombas.
So Goombas were, right, like when Bowser addressed all of his troops on the thing, he was like, Koopas, Goombas, whatever those little things are with the spikes.
They were in that one part.
They just never did any actual fighting, which is ridiculous because Goomba is literally the first thing that you fight in the first Mario game.
Yeah, they would have been like the
front lines.
The front lines.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Goomba in the cage, I mean, he must have just done something to piss off the boss.
Yeah.
And got put in a cage. That's the conclusion I jumped to.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah. But yeah, that was weird. And it's the whole frontline thing too is kind of funny because like in the beginning when like he's going to the Ice Kingdom, it's like his troops are all on the ground and his ship's behind them, but like that's not how the fight ended up happening in the film really. Like he didn't need his troops at all. No, because they like just grabbed Peach, they went up to the top and then they stopped the wedding. Yeah. Which, by the way, I did enjoy that Bowser had the top hat and he had the... Yeah, and the white suit, like... The white suit and the flowers, the little pincer flowers. Yeah. That's the bouquet he had in Odyssey. Yeah. So I did enjoy... That was a nice nod. Yeah, I like that.
I'm glad his hat didn't, like, open its eyes and start doing things.
We do not want any Cappy references in the film. It would be too weird because they're just... It's a whole other mechanic. Yeah. You'd have to, like, if you're going to have them at all, it would have to be a whole thing.
Yeah, too much.
So that's fine. Maybe another time. So yeah, not having... And the thing is, like, the parts with Luigi where he's, like, in the Darklands, like, and the dry bones and everything, that was such a good part of the film.
Yeah, that was great.
The dry bones, he hits them and he's like, oh, I did it. And then the dry bones has his hat on his head and he pulls it up and the dry bones reassembles itself like in the game. And he's like, oh, fuck. And then he's like running and there's more coming out from the ground. That was so great.
I would assume that they would have had a lot more in there, but it probably didn't test well among young kids.
Maybe.
And they don't want to scare kids too much.
Maybe.
I mean, even Bowser, like, they made Bowser almost, like, comical.
Yeah.
I think they're just doing this to appeal to, like, everybody.
He also barely used, like, we only heard his, like, roar, like, one time.
It was scary to the children.
I know, and he, like, barely used the fire thing. But, like, I feel like he's scarier in the trailers of the games that supposedly all the kids play. Like...
Yeah.
I get it. And in, like, a feature film, like, they're being careful, but it sucks. I don't know, and I mean... I want the second movie to be like Luigi's Mansion. That's what I would love. A Luigi's Mansion movie
where they never mention Mario
would be so good.
Great.
No, it could be like, so you haven't played it, but Luigi's Mansion 3 on Switch, it's a fantastic game. You would like it. Essentially what happens is they get invited on to this vacation house for free, and they go to the vacation house and they all get taken except for Luigi, and all of the like Mario, Peach, Toad, and everybody, they all get stuck, and they get stuck in portraits, and then Luigi has to go around and save them. That's, like, all the reference to Mario you get, and it's cute, because, like, sometimes when you're going through, like, Luigi's Mansion is really good. It's got awesome soundtrack. Luigi hums the soundtrack while he walks around. It's adorable.
That's great.
Once in a while, you can even press a button where he'll go, like, Mario, because he's, like, scared, and he's looking for Mario, but that's the connection. Mario's the one on the sidelines, and Luigi is in his element. And it's great. And it's not even that scary. They could totally do it in a way that's not scary for kids. Like, they make haunted, ghosty stuff for kids. Yeah. They could do it. He's got a cute little polter pup, and he goes around and he sucks ghosts, and he whacks them and sucks them up into his, like, thing.
His little vacuum pack.
Yeah, his vacuum pack. And it's fantastic, and it just, it would be so good. But I know great. They're not going to do it. Probably not, but it would be great. Unless they do, like, a series, then maybe he would get something like that, but...
Here's something that I didn't like.
Okay.
Hammer Brothers. You saw Hammer Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
At a certain point, but they didn't... No one ever threw a hammer.
Yeah, you're right.
Mario never got a Hammer Brothers costume.
Oh, I know.
Mario never threw fire.
There were so many costumes he didn't get.
Yeah.
He didn't ever throw fire. He didn't.
What?
We saw Peach. He was almost going to throw fire, and then... Yeah, because he got the power-up, and DK came over and blew the flower out.
Oh, yeah, right. In the DK fight. Yeah, that was great.
But that was the only reference they did. There are so many... And again, like, maybe they'll do it... They're just going to keep introducing it in, like, the later films. So many power-ups that they missed. Yeah. So many power-ups.
Disappointing.
And it is disappointing. But yeah, you're totally right. No, Hammer Bros didn't do anything. There was no Lakitu. Where is Lakitu?
Yeah, that was ridiculous. How come nobody fell off Rainbow Road and got picked up by Lakitu and dropped back on?
Oh, also, like, how did he not at least end up, like, pulling up, like, the Mario movie title card or something?
Would have been so easy.
Like, not even a little reference? You kidding me?
Also, I really liked how the very beginning was like the two pixelated 2D, Mario and Luigi, and Luigi jumps on Mario's head, which I was like, yeah! But I really would have liked if in the movie there had been like a 2D side-scrolly element where they like had to go in and like do a side-scrolly thing. Like, I know they had that in Odyssey. Mm-hmm. You know, in almost every world they have those like 2D areas where you go in a pipe and then you go 2D and you have to go around the little 2D map.
It would have been so good. Like,
they never even went underground to get the da-da-da-da-da music. What?
The da-da-da-da-da came up one time. I think it was slightly in the background when they were in the pipes in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. But again, that's another point. The music is there. However, they remix it, and they also really dumbed it down, and they also made it like kind of quieter and in very short segments.
Yeah.
They could have used the music so much more, and it would have been fine. People play these games with the music going 24/7. You think they can't watch it, like, going through the different samples in a 2-hour movie? Like, come the fuck on.
Yeah, and there's so many, like, no one's gonna get tired of them.
No,
like, come on, guys.
There's so many, and they did 2 or 3 songs with singing, like normal... normal soundtrack songs. Yeah, actual radio songs, which was fine. I didn't hate it, but I was like, the Mario, you did it.
But the Mario music well is so deep already.
So like, deep.
Okay, so here's something that I did love.
Okay.
In the beginning in Brooklyn, when Mario and Luigi are running through the city, and they're doing this like platform thing where Mario's like jumping up, like parkouring around the city.
Yeah.
While Luigi's trying to catch up to him. And Mario's always ahead, and he's opening all the doors for Luigi and like setting things down for Luigi to just run across.
Yeah.
Because clearly we all need to think that Luigi sucks and is useless. But Mario's doing all this stuff, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
And they get to the end of that little construction site thing.
Yeah.
And they're in front of a restaurant called Castle Burger, and it looks like the castle at the end of the levels.
That
from
was
the first
great.
Game. That was so great.
That was really great.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wish they just kind of like kept going with it. It's not like they didn't keep referencing stuff, because obviously it's all Mario stuff. But it was great when they referenced stuff in a way that would make you think of different things from the Mario lore, and they weren't just like, here's the actual thing from the video game.
Yeah.
It was like the references were good, and that's where I loved that reference, and that's where I was like, why wasn't there more?
Yeah.
I was just ready to be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and it only happened like a couple times.
You can only have so much.
Yeah.
I guess.
I will say too, like the pace of the film, and it was probably just because of all the stuff they wanted to do with the story, especially because they ended up not finishing off in Mushroom Kingdom, but like they came back into the real world. Like that took a whole another time slot. Right. But the pace was like really fast. Like,
were you upset with the go pace?
I was, just because like they did the thing in Brooklyn, and then like they... Like, the Brooklyn part was actually pretty long when you think about it.
Yeah, and it was good, but yeah, like, it was long, and I think they did kind of have to do that to, like, establish themselves.
Which is
without
fine.
Just jumping right in.
Yeah, which is fine. But, like, when they get to the Mushroom Kingdom, he pops out of the pipe, and Toad's just like, oh, hey, how's it going? And he's like, I can't find my brother. He's like, let's go see the princess. And away they went, and it was like, no, like... Who, like, he could have been,
why
like, poking him.
Why are you people made of mushrooms?
Like, yeah, like, he's like, why are you, like, a mushroom? And Toad could have been like, who are you? And, like, smooshed his face and been like, what's going on? Or he could have, like, I don't know. Yeah. And then they get to Peach. I really like the reference to, Peach's quick little backstory with baby Peach. Adorable.
That's cute.
Also, the backstory flashback with baby Luigi and baby Mario.
Yeah. That was great.
With the little black eyes with no pupil color, no whites.
I'm glad they had a baby Mario, baby Luigi in there.
So cute.
That's important for some reason.
I wish, and I mean, maybe they were there, we just couldn't really tell, because, again, the pace was so fast, it's hard to see the things that were in the background.
There
because
were a lot
it was just
of background Easter eggs.
Yeah.
That
and
some of which we caught,
through.
and some of which...
I'm sure there's so much we missed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been cute to see, like, on the mantelpiece in the family room, like, baby pictures of, like, Mario and Luigi. Because I didn't see the baby trope until that segment.
Yeah.
But that was really cute. I love the Rainbow Road thing. One thing I didn't like is when Mario, he's like, let's split off, and he splits off, and then he sees the, like, loop-de-loop. And, like, that's when, like, the whole part where, like, the tires flip and they change into the... Like, the gravity-defying whatever tires, which was really cool. But I was like, here is your opportunity for the camera to follow, like in Mario Kart, like behind the cart, and like make us feel like we're zipping around a little bit. But the camera was just like panning out back and like moving around him, and I was like, it also would have been easier. Like,
it might be disorienting for the children.
No, that's the thing. But even if you play Mario Kart, when you're zooming upside down, you don't feel like you're upside down.
Yeah. Right?
So like, I feel like it was still just an opportunity to kind of like get that feel like they're on the track.
Yeah.
Like it's playing like Mario Kart.
And like the road's going around you.
Yeah, like, just, like, I don't know, missed opportunity. I
thought it was a great opportunity how, when he was on the Rainbow Road and the thing was gaining on him, and then he just jumped off the road and landed on the lower track.
Yes.
Like, that was great. I
that
love that.
was great, because that's, like, a cheat that you can do in Mario Kart, and he even did the thing where he braked, and then, like,
he'd break his turns.
And then they showed the tire, and they showed how it caught the boost.
Yeah.
The skid boost, and he went off. I was like, yep, love that. Any references they made, they did a good job.
Yeah.
And it's not like there weren't a lot, technically. It just, somehow it still feels like they were missing a lot, too. It's weird.
Yeah.
But,
okay. Enough about that garbage. Let's... How did you feel about the voices? Specifically Mario and Luigi.
Okay.
We'll talk about other voices too, because I want to talk about so many voices.
Okay. So, Mario was voiced by Chris Pratt. Going into the film, I was very concerned.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Absolutely fine.
It was totally fine.
What did you think about their little Bronx accents?
Adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Through the movie, you kind of forget that it's Chris Pratt, which I was happy about. At least I did. I forgot it was Chris Pratt. He seemed so normal, which, like, I admit that if he had really done the, like, over-the-top Mario voice the whole time, it probably would have been distracting and too comical.
Yeah. That being said, in the commercial in the beginning, when they were doing the high-pitched thing...
Loved it.
That was pretty great.
And it was, like, a reference back to it, and then when they were talking to Giuseppe, and they're like, were the accents too much? He was like, no, what are you talking about? Like, no, it was great, it was perfect. I was like, okay, there it is. Yeah, so...
Of course, Giuseppe, voiced by the original Mario.
Correct. Charles Martinet. So he's always been the voice of Mario from, like, the very beginning. So that's pretty cool. So he got to voice the dad and Giuseppe, which, like, I feel like is a good callback. And again, I still wish they would have let him do Mario, but maybe just not so over the top if he could, but still just had... Because I think he could do it. He's a professional voice actor, right?
Yeah,
like...
Maybe.
He could have done it without being too Mario. It's also really funny, though, because if you notice, so the dad says wahoo a lot. Yeah. Mario never said wahoo.
No.
Not once. Also, in the trailer, we see him, like, crunching down with DK, and he's like, let's go. He didn't say it in the film. Not there. He said it, let's go later, but it wasn't in the part that the trailer had him say it.
Interesting.
And he wasn't even in the same pose.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm curious if they just made that specifically just for the trailer.
Yeah, maybe.
Because there was
just
two...
Have him saying it.
I forget what the other thing was, but I noticed two things that were slightly different. I think it's what Peach was saying in the trailer versus what they actually ended up putting out. So I wonder if... Because I think people freaked out a lot about him saying let's go in the trailer. And
cut it?
Maybe they took it out. It's possible. It wouldn't have been too hard. Kind of hard, but, like, maybe they did. The other thing is just that they amalgamated some things together specifically for the trailer so that they could pack in what they wanted to be shown in the trailer.
Yeah, maybe.
And it wasn't necessarily, like, actually in the film.
Yeah. Maybe they, like, did the trailer before they did their final cuts, and then they just edited stuff out for time.
But yeah, all in all, like, Chris Pratt, it was fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, lots of people could have done it, because, like, to be honest, he kind of just sounded just like any random person. Like, it didn't, kind of, you know?
Which worked.
Which was fine. Like, at the end of the day, it was fine. Luigi, I barely got a Charlie Day vibe from him, except from, like, the beginning.
I agree.
Didn't really notice.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. I thought I would really get a Charlie out of him.
I was surprised for both of these actors that they could do that Bronx accent.
Yeah.
Well, or, like, Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, like, I thought they did good jobs. They sounded Italian.
Yeah, in that way.
And neither of them are. So that was good.
Yeah,
I like
so
that.
it was fine.
Obviously, Jack Black's voice, amazing.
It was great.
And when he would sing, he wasn't even Bowser anymore. He was just Jack Black.
He was Jack Black.
Which was funny.
Yeah.
I feel like the more into the movie you got, the more Jack Black he became. But, it was always good, and you were always cool with it.
Yeah.
Keegan-Michael Key was Toad.
Yeah.
And he was amazing.
Yeah, Toad was great.
Toad's voice was amazing.
Yeah.
I could not tell for a second that that's Keegan-Michael Key.
No.
Yeah. That was by far, like, my favorite voice. Oh, it's hard to say, because also Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong, I loved
that was good too.
So much.
I also, to be honest, okay, so one person that was very much themselves in the film was Seth Rogen as DK.
And it was great.
And it was so good. When he was like, I can't do it. Sorry, guys. But you know what I'm talking about.
Seth Rogen laugh.
The Seth Rogen chuckle. Like, he was literally himself in that film, and it worked so well. He was like, literally, it's like, you've always been DK, and you've just been somebody else in everything else?
I mean, it's weird, because Seth Rogen, he's done a lot of voices in a lot of different things,
yes,
and he's only ever done his voice. Like, it's so strange.
That's the funny thing, because, like, people hire people... I don't know, the whole like Hollywood, the whole thing is weird because there's people that can like that are like professional voice actors, and then there's people that probably get hired because they're a famous actor, and having a famous name to your movie helps the movie sell, right? Yeah. So when you hire someone like Seth Rogen, who I genuinely like as an actor, it's just funny because he is very much himself and everything. Yeah. So it's like, is he always just himself, or is there like a Seth Rogen that we don't know that is his real actual self, but he plays the same way in everything and sounds the same way?
No, I think that's just always him.
Yeah. So it's funny.
He's also going to be the voice of Bebop in the new Ninja Turtles movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mayhem.
We'll see.
And I mean, however he comes out in that movie, he wrote the damn movie, so we'll know.
Yeah.
He's just playing himself.
Oh my gosh, though, like I just keep hearing his laugh coming out of DK. It just worked. I didn't hate it.
I liked Seth Rogen's DK voice better than the Donkey Kong Country cartoon.
Yeah.
Voice, which was very, banana jamma or whatever.
Yeah.
Junk they said. Like, I always thought that was really weird.
Yeah. I remember the part all the time when he was like in the cart and he'd like jump. I remember like his sounds,
like Mario Kart,
but like not his like cause like the DK cart, like
and
the cart levels,
like the mine carts.
Yeah.
No, but there was a cartoon show. There's a Donkey Kong Country cartoon show.
Never seen that. Yeah, no idea. And wait, who was Peach again?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, what was she in before?
She's from Queen's Gambit.
Yes,
other things.
Yes, right, yes. Okay, thank you. I loved her in Queen's Gambit.
I still haven't seen it. I'm getting there. I did not think that she was doing very much from the beginning. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, she's just a girl.
Yeah,
she's doing the voice of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
But I totally got over it. Like she did a great job.
It's the same thing with like Mario and Luigi. Like I don't know, they just sounded like people. Like,
they just sounded
they were people.
Like a couple of months.
But maybe that was part of the point. Like, the fact that they're supposed to be real people thrown into the Mushroom Kingdom. Like, and I was kind of glad Peach wasn't, like,
Mario
really
cartoon
peachy.
shows where half of the time they're just two real-life guys, and then it, like, goes into their cartoon world, and they still sound just like... Oh, hey, Mario, what are you doing over there? Like,
yeah, really bad.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
I mean, to be honest, I'm totally glad that Peach wasn't like, oh, like all her weird voices that she does in the thing. Like, she doesn't have to sound like that.
She doesn't sound like dainty and like frail or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like overly ladylike. She was just like a badass. Like,
she was just badass.
Take charge.
So
woman.
I think it worked one way or the other.
And she looked great.
Yeah.
With pouty little lips. Tiny little lips
so
on that face.
Cute. She did. Her character design was really, really good. And also all of her
was, like,
dress changes. Yeah, they did a really good job on her hair. And she even, like, the attention to detail. And obviously they would do this. Like, you can't really give them too many props for doing it, but it still gets you excited. Because, like, her outfit change and stuff when they were on the Mario Kart is the same, like, in the game. And, like, when she's on she didn't have a helmet in the Mario Kart, but
her motorbike
she gets a ponytail.
Nice.
In the game, too. So, like, they met all of those things, which was pretty cool.
Also, when she did the obstacle course and she, like, got to the flag and jumped down and puffed out her skirt so she could, like, billow down a whole cloud.
Yeah,
like,
that was adorable.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. And she was like, yeah, I got the top of the flag. Yeah, I really liked that. And I love the whole idea how they use, like, the training course thing. Like, we said it already, but the whole point of, like, here's the training course. I love that, too. I loved how she went on that floating platform and then, like, out from the water rose the training course, like, with all the blocks and everything.
Like, assembled itself
and the
into
piranha
whatever
plants.
it wanted to be.
Yeah. That was really cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah, very disappointed. There wasn't even a shred of 2D.
Yeah.
When, like, that's how Mario started.
Yeah.
I was hoping, I wasn't expecting, but was hoping for a more complex storyline where they had a really cool way to incorporate the old flat stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Wreck-It Ralph did. How Wreck-It Ralph was, like,
incorporating a lot of everything.
How it was all of these arcade games and they were all plugged together and people could walk through the plug lobby and, like, it just, they made it was simple, but they made it make sense how all of these things could be all in the same universe and how they could interact.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. I don't know, I thought they could do it. Even if they made a reference to, like,
a different game?
His old well, not a different game, but, like, you know, maybe one time, like, she was like, oh, try here, like, here's a, maybe he was getting uniforms on. Maybe he didn't come in wearing that red and blue uniform, but he got thrown it or something, and then maybe he put on the uniform and it made him flat for a second, and he was, like, 2-bit Mario,
like,
or
I don't like it.
Or something. I don't know. Like, a little more than, like, that one little part where they had, like, the antique shop with, like, the little, like, old-timey weapons and stuff in it. Thought that was great, but again, it was, like, so quick and tiny, and they were, like, walking away from it while you're looking at it.
Also, the antique shop was a great call out when the guy's like, does this work? And he's like, yeah, all you gotta do is blow on it.
Yeah.
Like that. I love that.
I loved that. Yeah. More of that. And again, I realized that, like, that means catering to more nostalgia, more of an older crowd than they're kind of pushing the movie for. So I get it.
Yeah, it is, like,
it's a hard thing, but
yeah,
that's kind of the best part about family movies these days. Kind of like the way Despicable Me does it. Like, it's got adult content in a kid's film in a way that makes everybody happy.
Yeah.
And, like, I think they didn't quite hit the mark.
Not quite.
It wasn't bad.
There were a lot of good...
There were lots of good stuff.
Callbacks to, like, old Nintendo stuff.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it had to happen, right? Because they were literally in the Mushroom Kingdom fighting Bowser. Like, there was the enemies. They had items and stuff. Like, the stuff was... Yeah. There was stuff there. Like, physically. I just love, like, a few more, like, callbacks would have been cool.
Yeah. But they had some Easter eggs.
They had some Easter eggs.
And
Let's talk about
some cool
those.
old Nintendo Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was Mario, when he went to his bedroom, he was playing NES.
Yeah.
And he was playing Kid Icarus, which I've never played.
I haven't played it either.
But that was cool.
Yeah, that was
cool. That was a cool callback.
I tried looking on, like, his walls and stuff more for things I recognized. And there's probably stuff in there that other people would recognize. I think it was more, like, older games and stuff that I didn't quite see.
Yeah, probably. I was not... I didn't have my alert eyes.
I know. It's hard because after Cam got excited, like, my partner, he was, like, nudging me. He's like, oh, this thing and that thing. And I was like, crap, I should be paying better attention. But it's hard because you're trying to follow the story. It's better to pick these things out, like, second or third watch. But we're doing this, like, right after having seen it.
So, of course, in the very beginning, right after the commercial, they're in a diner or something, and somebody is playing Jumpman or Donkey Kong. Yeah. Depending on who you ask, I guess.
Depending on who you ask. The arcade game did say Jumpman on it. Yeah. I've remembered, I know so, like, in Japan, Mario is called Jumpman. I think what it is that he was originally Jumpman, and then they were probably trying to cater it more for, like, Americans and stuff, so I think that's when they started changing some stuff. I think that's, like, where he eventually became Mario. Again, guys, if this is, like, upsetting anybody that knows the very specific lore of, like, the beginning of Mario, let us know.
The line and educate
we us. Did a, like, I've watched some stuff on it before, but I don't remember everything, and it's very confusing if you, like, look it up, because Jumpman and, like, Donkey Kong are very separate things. Like, the actual Jumpman game
that
came after Donkey Kong. Yeah.
Is a different thing.
Yeah.
With a little white stick man.
A little stick man going up some ladders, and then there's maybe bullets or something coming. I don't know. It was very weird.
Weird things falling down.
And it was on computer that they then put on an Atari. But Donkey Kong was like faster and looked better.
Yeah, it was fast, and it was on Atari and ColecoVision.
Yeah. And that's where you see the reverse Mario, where he's got a blue shirt and red overalls. Yeah. So he's like the opposite. And if you watch in the Mario movie, the guy they talked to in the diner, Giuseppe, he has that same outfit on.
Yeah.
Who was voiced by the original Mario voice actor. So they did a little callback to that.
Yeah.
So like kind of original Mario that kind of came out from Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Maybe Jumpman, maybe they took reference from Jumpman because jumping kind of became Mario's main mechanic that wasn't so much it wasn't the whole part of his identity in Donkey Kong. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe in Japan they didn't even call it Donkey Kong. Maybe they just called it Jumpman.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So
then we've got
that was cool.
Punch Out
Pizzeria. Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah. Named after and like even the logo like for the pizzeria, it was like the actual Punch Out logo.
That was awesome.
Like that was nice to see.
There was the balloon fight thing.
Yeah, which I didn't catch.
I didn't catch either. My partner caught it. He was like, I want proof. I want people to know that I'm the one that saw these Easter eggs.
He caught most of them.
He caught a lot of them. Yeah, so there was a little balloon fight reference. I have never played that, so I didn't really catch it.
I played tiny bits of balloon fight, but not a whole lot.
Okay. He also was saying that like the Brooklyn Underground pipe part, which I just kind of assumed was just sort of like getting a reference to like Mario piping and all that in general. But there was that Mario Bros game. You're in this, it's a side scroll, like, but still.
So this is
still shot game.
We used to call this Battle Mario, and we would have Battle Mario tournaments in Mario All-Stars, which was Mario's 1, 2, and 3, and Lost Levels, all on one Super Nintendo cartridge. You could have tournaments of this, but it originated in Mario 3 when you would go to a level in the world, and you'd click and you'd enter that level. But if you went to a level that your partner had just beat and they were standing on the level and you clicked, you'd go into this battle scene, and you would have to fight each other.
That's so cool.
Just for fun. And yeah, like when I was a teenager, like we would would all, get high and have Battle Mario tournaments, and we'd be like screaming at each other over this.
That's so funny.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so he felt that was really like a reference to that.
And also when they went into the underground, there was like level 1, like 1, 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. A good reference to like, world whatever, level whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I want to know more about Pauline.
I do too.
She's Mario's girlfriend.
Like what's happening there?
The Mario Brothers games, he's been trying to save Peach.
I know. What's up with that?
Oh, great reference when he gets to the castle in the first place and the guards at the door.
Yes.
And they're like, "What? There's no princess here. No, your princess is in another castle. You should go there." I was like, "Oh yeah."
That was so funny. And see, like that was such a fantastic example of how to reference something that kids would think is funny even if they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But adults know why it's actually funny.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. You're right.
That was great.
And then Toad like sat down with him and like cooked them a meal.
Yeah, that part really kind of lost me when he cooked them a meal. I was like, I don't know if Captain Toad with his frying pan like cooks people meals.
So because
he pulled it out and he was like, "All right, I'll take care of them," and then it's just like, "What do you want? I'll make you anything."
So from what I know, and maybe he has more lore than I'm aware of, he probably does. But so he has references. Captain Toad is referenced. You see him in every world in Mario Odyssey. If you find him, he always gives you a star.
Right.
So I don't know if you remember, but if you find him, sometimes you find him like in the water level specifically. You find him like in a bubble, and he's got his tent there and his little cookout, and everything is out.
Right.
So there is that reference there, and then there's an actual Captain Toad game, which is like more of a puzzle game where he's on like a 3D platform thing, and you have to like collect the gems and get to the end and go around obstacles and stuff. You can't jump or anything. It's a very like specific mechanic kind of game.
Sounds fun.
I have it. You could try it. It's good. Was it like $80 good? No.
Did it cost $80?
Sure did. Because it's a major Nintendo game, and Nintendo games are expensive.
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, anything that's like part of the mainline Mario line, it's just automatically going to be $80 pretty much. So yeah, it wasn't worth that, but it is fun. I think it's called Captain Toad Tracker.
Because he just follows tracks.
I don't know. He's like hunting stuff. But yeah, prior to that game or prior to Odyssey, I don't know what the rest of like the Captain Toad like lore is. And they never said Captain in the movie, but like he was the only Toad with an adventure pack, and he was obsessed with adventure, and that's exactly what Toad is.
I mean, I know there's always Toad, right?
Yeah.
Even from as early as Mario 2, you can be Toad.
Yeah.
As a playable character.
There was always Toad, but I think like Captain Toad is different than Toad.
I'm assuming it's the same Toad.
Maybe.
He just eventually...
Yeah. But the whole thing with like him having a pack
from private or whatever.
I just think the whole thing with him having a pack in the movie really references to him being like specifically Captain Toad.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but that's my guess.
Anything else you liked or disliked?
I feel like there was oh, here's a random little thing. Okay, so Mario's following Toad through the Mushroom Kingdom to going up to the palace. Yeah. He's got to go through all these pipes, and at one point he comes out of a pipe after Toad's already gone into the blue pipe, so he doesn't know which pipe to go in, so he goes in the green pipe, and then he has to jump through a bunch of pipes.
Yeah, that was great.
Fantastic.
But really, you didn't like something.
It really irked me that he would go on a green pipe and then come out a blue pipe and then go on a red pipe and come out of a green pipe. You don't come out of a different colored pipe than the pipe you went in. It's one single pipe. It has always been that way. And I was mad. I was mad about it. They could have done it. They didn't have to do it that way. Like, they could have still done it. He was still getting confused as to what pipe was going where. They could have had multiple red pipes and green and blue pipes, so you never know which one he's going to come out of. That's the whole point of the Mario thing. If they're all green, and sometimes you think you're going in the right one or you're going out the wrong one. There's also, like they had the clear pipes and stuff.
All right.
But you always come out the color you went into.
I hear you. This didn't bother me.
It bothered me.
Moving on.
Hey, you asked? I told you.
Clearly have some very strong feelings about the pipe colors not lining up. And I get that. I do get that. If you were trying to puzzle your way through it as Mario was, that would be very confusing.
Yeah, it's not going to bother Mr. Colorblind over here. But
they were bright colors. I saw the difference.
Yeah, you could see the difference. Yeah, so it was like that was the one nitpicky thing, and then the whole raccoon / tanuki thing, and the fact that he was flying for so long. Yeah.
Well, it's different in a open world adventure scenario when you fly.
It's true. They could be making up new rules.
Like, you don't fly in any of those games, right? I don't remember flying at all in the
sandbox
Mario
games?
64. Yeah, in the sandbox games.
No, in Sunshine you can hover.
You shoot your water
because
down.
You shoot the water. In Odyssey, you do a lot of like jumping stuff with Cappy, which like they barely made any Odyssey references,
which was good.
Not surprised. Yeah, not surprised because that would have opened up a whole other. Cool. Yeah, they did the Pauline. They did the wedding thing. I do want to say, how was Bowser proposing without a wedding ring?
That's true.
What the hell?
Yeah.
He could have anything. And the whole thing in Odyssey, maybe they didn't want to reference to Odyssey too much, but he was collecting wedding stuff.
Yeah.
There was no obviously they wouldn't do tiara, but he didn't go get the giant ring. He didn't reference the ring or anything. No, will you marry me? He puts out his hand. His empty hand.
Yeah.
I was really? And he didn't even have the bouquet because they got all snappy, so he decided not to use the bouquet.
He stomped on him. It was great.
Yeah, which was funny. But, yeah, that part was weird. And...
I mean, and that was a good, they had it in there, but then he stomped on it. So then she needed a new bouquet, so she sent Toto to get one, and he brought her one with the ice flower in it. It worked.
It worked fine.
As a storytelling mechanism.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny that he didn't have a ring.
Yeah.
I was like, where's the ring, dude?
Yeah, that's weird.
I thought that was weird.
That's a real faux pas.
But maybe they were worried it would look too much like Odyssey.
Maybe.
I don't know. There's the part in Odyssey, what happens is he holds out his hand, he moves forward in a cutscene, and he holds out his hand like he did there, but the tiara's on it. And then the tiara opens his little eyeballs.
Oh.
Yeah, and then he puts it on her, and then it he grabs it and it like shuts its eyes and it becomes kind of like a tiara when he plops it on her head. And then after you see it kind of like cautiously open its eyes again. Yeah. He also, Bowser in his song, or like when he was practicing talking to Peach, he referenced her removable tiara. Do you know what he was talking about?
No, I don't remember that at all.
He was saying a bunch of stuff about like what he likes about Peach, and it all made sense until he said something about a removable tiara. And I don't know what that means, because all that makes me think of is like Sailor Moon pulling her tiara off her face and going like, Moon Prism tiara and throwing it. And that's not a thing that Peach does. And then I was like, well, he wouldn't be talking about Tiara from Odyssey, because she doesn't have tiara in this. Yeah. At this point. Actually, does she have a tiara at all?
I think she has a tiara.
She does, at least at some points. Yeah.
I mean, she's the princess after all.
Yeah. So it's definitely, especially when she's in her pink getup, she definitely has a tiara on, right? Yeah. So I don't know what he was talking about. I thought that was weird.
She can remove it, and he finds that attractive. I don't know. Maybe it's just a reference to how little he actually knows about her.
But like all tiaras are removable, so like yeah. This isn't like a Barbie situation where they go into like little holes in her head and they got little sticks and you gotta like push them in.
Yeah, and then you can like move it up like sunglasses.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was there anything else?
Anyways, I don't think I had anything else.
That griped you or that you liked?
No, I talked about voice actors.
Yeah.
I thought they were all good. Mm-hmm. I liked them all. I thought it was a good movie. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. I didn't mind the pacing of it because I always justified the pacing by the fact that they're trying to cram as much stuff in as possible. Mm-hmm. So, and also they're trying to be appealing to kids, so they want to cut out the slow moments because they don't think kids have the capacity to pay attention.
Yeah, they don't have the attention span anymore.
Yeah.
They kind of don't, because it's just what they're getting used to with all of the stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I liked it. I had a good time. I feel like it missed a lot of opportunities because of the pacing. It missed a lot of opportunities to sit and hold with moments to have a more cinematic experience.
Yes.
Like, for instance, when they come in and they pan out and you get to see the Mushroom Kingdom. Why didn't they, like, show the Mushroom Kingdom, like, zoom in, like, see, like, cool waterfalls, get, like, a look, just have like the camera.
Fly around.
Yeah, fly around, or get to, like, just, like, when you see a new thing, a whole new world, and then they show you different parts of it where, like, there's, like, the animals in their natural habitat, like, doing stuff around the world. Like, they kind of just touched on it when, like, those leggy, fluffy guys were, like...
Oh, I don't even know what those are from.
Okay, so those are from the Desert Island levels from Super Mario, like, new Super Mario.
From Odyssey?
Not no. Odyssey, no. Like the newer version.
Side-scrollers.
The newer side-scrollers.
Right.
Yeah, they're in those. So that was, like, a cute reference and stuff. And we saw, like, the little beetle dudes. Can't remember what they were called, but I forgot.
Those things that, like, 3 were attached together?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what those were.
Oh, no, those spikies with the 3 attached together, those are called spinies, I think. No, they're not called spinies.
They were just, like, walking... Like, they didn't have spikes.
Oh, did they not do the 3, like, the kind of spiky snowman?
The cactus?
Yeah, the cactus. Did they have him?
No,
that's too bad.
I mean, they never went to a desert, so they wouldn't have the cactus.
I mean, they had one very quick reference to a desert, walking through a desert. It was so fast. So when they were traveling to DK, they had a quick pan of kind of like a...
I can't remember.
Not a jungle scene. It was like a mountain scene, and then they had a desert scene, just them walking in a desert.
Yeah.
They didn't do any reference to like having to like go around any obstacles or anything. Then they showed like Mario eating like a fruit of some kind at some point.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like an apple.
Yeah, where they probably went through Yoshi's Island or whatever.
You get those from Mario World, yeah, and you can eat them as Yoshi.
Yeah. And so they showed that, and then they ended where they spent a night under this like big tree in a forest or a field of fire flowers.
Yes.
So that was part of the montage, but they didn't like take a moment to like go through the stuff, because I feel like they could have did it even more dumb, like we're on our way to Bowser's main castle. Like, they could have, like, gone through the whole thing, but still made it look cool by, like, slowing down and taking moments just to have good cinematography.
Yeah.
Because that's completely possible in an animated film. And lots of animated, like, films do that. It's just, I know it's like an Illumination film and they had a lot to show and the pacing was fast, but that's where you just kind of, like, you never get a moment to sit and appreciate the film when it really grabs you. Like, for instance, the moment when Luigi was saving Mario, that was a moment where they finally just took a second, paused, and you got to see the connection of the brothers and Luigi, like, risking his life, and it was really good. Yeah. That kind of a moment. They had so many other opportunities where I was like, why didn't they hold here?
That's true.
And just like, wait a second.
You know what? I do have something.
Okay.
That I really was disappointed to not see. Wooden ships. How come I didn't see a wooden flying Bowser ship?
You're so right.
Why? I've never seen his stupid island fortress.
I know.
And I think it was stupid. What is with that floating island thing? Like, Bowser has a whole land where he has a big castle. Yeah. And, like, it looks like that, but to have this thing floating around and not have any of his, like, warships, that disappointed me.
Yeah, that's so true, too. Because I guess it was almost as if he had, like, a lava island, which, like, you see a lot of that when you go into, like, the Bowser levels in games. It's usually, like, right, it's, like, lava and, like, rock, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I got the theme of it, but it was sort of like this floating island ship that was bigger. For example, it's, like, to scale, it was bigger than the Penguin Castle City.
Yeah.
It was bigger than that.
Yeah.
So he's floating on this giant thing somehow.
But then he also has Darklands that have, like, a mainland. So does this thing, like, have a
like,
dock,
just chunks
like a port
out of
where
it?
it just like drops in and, like, that's...
Or it's just like an island that somehow floats for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
It's true. He could have had the whole cool ship thing. Like, the ship level in Mario, that was so iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Disappointing.
Also was kind of disappointed that, like, I get that it was a training thing, but, like, it would have been so funny if, let's say Mario, so he goes through this whole thing where he doesn't quite, even at the end, he doesn't quite finish the training module, and Peach just says, it's okay, you're learning, which I thought was really sweet. Like, I thought that was a good thing. But she was like, it's okay, you're learning. And he didn't finish it. But what if she was like, oh, that was just level 1. And then she, like, flicks the switch and then it's like a lava one instead? Because, like,
oh, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, because, like, those spinning dotted things, those are supposed to be on fire.
Sometimes. I think there are times when they have those things that are not on fire.
Really?
But in, like, Bowser worlds, they're always on fire. Yeah, I think you can have those things not on fire in certain places.
Oh.
But yeah, like, there are also a lot of, like, bad guys that didn't show up.
Yeah.
Like, I would have liked to see a thwomp.
I know.
Like, thwomps.
How is there not a thwomp?
I mean, they're in a fixed location. You could just put one in, like, anywhere. In the Darklands.
I think part of the problem too is, like, again, with, like, they did this really quick. Hopefully there's a lot of traveling in the next one, especially if they have Yoshis, like, on the ground, because, like, they just blew through the whole, like, journey to the DK realm.
Yeah.
Where, like, they could have had so much opportunity. That's where all the nostalgia, like, reminders could have been. Like, they could have gone through the kind of, like, jungly area where, like, there would have been thwomps, like, thwomping down and, like, in cool ruins and stuff.
Like, you could easily have, like, in Bowser's, like, castle, Kamek or one of the Koopas, like, running through the halls and then all of a sudden get squashed by a thwomp in the hallway and have the thwomp be like, oh, sorry, excuse me.
Yes!
And then just, like, it's passing through.
Yeah, 100%.
That would have been great.
They even used to have, remember, like, because in some of the games, the thwomp is, like, literally has arms and legs, and it's walking around, and it goes, whoa, and it, like, hits its face down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have not seen that in those games.
I'm wondering if that's I don't think it's only Mario Party, but that's a Mario Party thing.
Oh, yeah? For
sure. Which is still a Mario game. Like, I know it's a board game.
I guess.
But, like...
It says canon as Mario, golf, and soccer.
God, I hope they'd never do Mario sports in the film.
I think it would have been funny if they had done a little bit of sports
somehow.
Just to, like, shout it out kind
of thing. Or,
like,
they had, like, a game going or something somehow. Yeah. But again, like, yeah.
They're like, how's Mario doing with his training? And, like, him and Toad are, like, playing tennis or something. Yeah. And they're like, that's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. That's not the training I was talking about. Yeah. Even, again, like, a way that it would be nice to see Nintendo making fun of itself, too. Yeah. Like, in those kind of ways. Like, that would be really cool. Because, again, Nintendo uses Mario in a lot of weird ways in the games itself. They've got Mario Party and Mario Sports, Mario Tennis. What's the soccer game is the new one.
Strikers?
There's Mario.
No, Strikers been out for a long time.
Striker. There's just a new version.
A new one? Right.
Mario Golf.
Yeah.
Like, they got a bunch of...
God, they even have a go-karting game. Can you believe it?
Yeah. So, like, you know, there could have been other ways, too. Even, like, the carts on the, like, I loved them getting suited up in the carts. I loved when Toad pulled up in the big cart. Yeah. So funny.
That was ridiculous.
That was so great. So that was awesome. I love the Rainbow Road reference for sure. They definitely did have it where, like, they were kind of, like, throwing a couple bananas or, like, a shell or was there at one point or something.
Yeah, there were a few shells thrown around.
They didn't have, obviously, like, the question mark, like...
No.
But I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
To, like, not... I didn't know how they were going to do it, and it's fine that it's not there, just to, like, keep it more realistic. But even though they got, like, question blocks, and DK's dad was just like, oh, I put some question blocks out there for you, Mario.
Yeah. Threw some power-ups around because I want this fight to last only 5 seconds.
Where are these power-up blocks coming from? We don't know. And again, like, the Toads, like, remember I said in the trailer, they're, like, mining the coins?
Yeah.
Mining the coin blocks. Hilarious. Yeah. I want to watch it again. That's where I'm at. When it comes out...
note-taking.
Yeah, well, like, just to see it. Like, you know, probably won't talk about it again, necessarily. Like, do a deeper...
But a second watch through would... give you a better perspective.
I think so. Yeah, just being able to notice some other things, you know, putting it more into perspective and stuff, and not having, like, you know, there was just so much less problem with, like, seeing all the trailers and all the hype. There was a lot of hype for it.
Yeah.
Which can sometimes lead to, like, a little bit of a natural letdown. But again, still really liked it.
Yeah, overall, I did not feel let down. I will recommend that people see this movie.
100%. Hope you already have if you're listening to it, but yeah, I would.
Yeah, if not, then maybe don't, because you've basically seen it.
But yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think about it. If you thought anything was missing, if you thought it was just perfect, what you're excited to see in a sequel, because we saw the tease at the end, but all we know is it just means there's going to be Yoshi in the next one. And also that Yoshi was in Brooklyn, so, like, they're going to be going back to Brooklyn to deal with the Yoshi. I don't know.
I still think they work in Brooklyn in their day-to-day, and they'll run
But why would they
Yoshi
live in
quickly.
Mushroom Kingdom and work in Brooklyn and commute to Brooklyn every day?
Because they finally get to move out of their parents' place. And they don't have to pay rent there.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. They can come back for family dinners. Yeah. I think it's pretty good.
Okay, alright. That's fair.
Mario hating mushrooms.
Yeah.
Love that.
Adorable.
That was great.
And they led that up right from the beginning. Like, they
Yeah.
were serving a pasta with mushrooms, and he was, like, picking them off, and I was like, hilarious.
And putting them on Luigi's plate, because Luigi's not picky.
No, he doesn't care. And then she's like, really, a mushroom? When we take the power up, and she's like, shoves it in his mouth, and he's like, ugh, ugh, ugh. And then later, he keeps having to use the power up to go through the course, and you see him just, like, throwing up the power up and going small again.
Small, that was great. Yeah, love that.
Would have loved to have seen Hammer Bros power up. Squirrel, like, doesn't matter as much, but I thought it would be kind of funny. Just really quickly. Even if he had a sequence where he went through a bunch of power-ups really quickly was, like, for some reason.
Trying on costumes or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Even in Odyssey, Odyssey's a huge thing with, like, costumes and clothing and getting to change into a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been cool to see him, like, they were just already in their suits. That was, like, their uniform. Which, like, I don't hate that idea, obviously. But it was just, like, I don't know. Would have been fun.
I mean, yeah, of course they got their letter of their first name on their head. Like,
that was already a whole established thing. Like, that has nothing to do with them being in the Mushroom Kingdom at all. Which I guess makes sense. For the second movie, I'm assuming, well, Yoshi, because we know that. I'm assuming they're going to be bringing Peach into Brooklyn. I'm curious to see how much back and forth they do. I really hope they don't spend the whole time in Brooklyn.
Do you want them to fight Bowser again, or do you think they should bring in Wario and Waluigi?
People have been crying out for Wario and Waluigi. I don't know that it's going to happen. I would love it if it happened. I do not need them to fight Bowser again. Yeah. I don't need them to take the same track that they've done in the video games and continue with the Bowser trope. Honestly, I was hoping this movie would
kill Bowser.
Well, he could just I knew he had to be in it, but at the same time, I was like, maybe this movie can finally like have a storyline that has nothing to do with Mario rescuing somebody from Bowser. Like, maybe the story could just be different and almost like, you know, it could
Mario
even poke a little fun at the
from Wario.
I don't know.
Here's
It's just
the
like
thing. I don't know anything about Wario.
I've
never
played
a Wario game. I don't know where he really came from. I think he originally came from a Game Boy game or something.
Yeah, like he's got a lot of weird of his own offshoot games. He's got like weird mini games and stuff. Like that's where I know Wario from.
Yeah.
His lore I do not know. Like him or Waluigi, I don't know.
Someone let us know.
Yeah.
Drop us a line.
You know where like they come from and like how that crossover could work. That would be cool. What I would gather if it was like in the Mario movie, Wario and Waluigi would also be from the real world coming into the Mushroom Kingdom. Anything human looking in the Mushroom Kingdom must come from the real world, supposedly.
True. That's true.
So maybe it would either be like his bullies somehow, but like why would they be dressed like Wario, like Mario and Luigi? So would they?
Different colors.
There's some. Maybe there's another.
They're like cousins or something. Like
maybe like something happens. They're going through one of like the weird void
like
pipe spaces, and something
Luigi
happens.
Kind of
yeah, like dimensions split, and what like this shit happens. Like it's Nintendo, right? We gotta remember that dimensions split. And they're like the alter egos of them, and then they go into this like whole thing. But like, why would they make it so like this is where the Yoshi is a thing?
Yeah,
you know, it's just very much giving me that like Jurassic Park vibe, where like in the sequel the dinosaurs are now off the island and in the mainland.
I still haven't watched the new Jurassic Park, but it's gonna be probably not good.
What's the newest? Well, I've only seen World.
Is like
1 and
where
2,
people are just living with dinosaurs now. And,
okay, I haven't seen that.
And everyone from the first movies and the last movies are together.
Oh my god.
Right. It's on streaming something.
Wait. Is what's-his-face in it?
Yes. Sam Neill? I believe Sam Neill? Yeah.
The guy with the black hair?
Oh, Jeff Goldblum? Of course. Yes.
Oh my god.
Of course.
I love Jeff Goldblum so much.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well I have to watch it then. It's already out, like on the streaming stuff?
Yeah, I don't know if it's on Crave or Disney.
I feel maybe it would be Prime, or would it be Disney? I don't know.
I don't know. But it's on something.
That's cool.
Hopefully it's not Prime, because you don't have it, right? Do you have Prime?
No, I have Prime.
Oh, good. Then whatever it's on.
Yeah. As long as it's not just Hulu, I've got it.
I feel like it might be Crave,
I've got like access to most of them now.
Yeah.
That'd be really exciting.
One thing I want to see in the sequel, should there be a sequel, which there should, some reference to Dr. Mario.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
gotta be at least some reference to Dr. I know he's not like, hey, I got a PhD between the last movie, you know, after hours of my plumbing job.
He
which
could
I
totally
still
be
think
like,
he has.
yeah.
But,
oh, yeah, I know. He could totally be like a cousin, though. He could be a cousin. Top cousin Dr. Mario. You see him like dropping pills and something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really great.
He's the good Mario of the family.
Yeah. They'll be like, why can't you be more like your cousin Mario? And it's like Dr. Mario.
And then maybe he takes the wrong pills one day and he gets all messed up and becomes Wario. We are building history here. Literally.
Now, what I wanted from the second one is Luigi's Mansion. I'd say like a whole Peach movie, But she was in this one, like, a lot. Like, she was a great character in this one. So, like, I don't know if they would do that. Maybe more, like, Peach origin. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be able to have Mario or Luigi in it.
I know, that's the thing that, like, how would that work?
Peach is not going to appeal to as wide an audience.
Maybe not. There was a huge outcry for Peach. Like, people love Peach.
Yeah, sure.
But, yeah, that's the other thing. They wouldn't be able to really be in it. Plus, they already, like, briefly went over her backstory, so I don't know if they're actually going to do it again.
I mean, they could do more in the next movie.
They could do more. But, yeah, we'll have to see.
And then who's like Daisy? I don't know who she is.
I've never understood where Daisy comes from.
The yellow chick.
And then there's also, she's the one with the yellow dress. And then there's also the girl from Galaxy. Forgetting her name. Sorry, everybody. She's the blue dress girl, and she's much taller.
Oh.
And she's got blonde, long hair. You can play her in, like, Mario Party and stuff, but she's, I believe, from Galaxy.
I didn't even know that it wasn't Peach in Galaxy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's somebody else.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track.
But yeah, you left Nintendo, and it's...
I did. I left Nintendo.
In the middle there.
You can only afford so many consoles.
I know.
And, like, I don't know. I didn't find Nintendo changed with the times as much as... They did in totally weird, innovative ways.
Yeah.
But not in ways that appealed to me.
No, it's totally fair. They're, like, the dark ages of Nintendo. They kind of, like, started the video game industry. They were a huge, like, influence on the beginning of the industry. Yeah. And then
other things had to super compete to, like, catch up to them and surpass them.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of, like, resting on their laurels. Like, we don't have to...
And, like, the Wii U was a horrible... Like, that console sold terribly.
Yeah.
Did not do well. I actually like the Wii U. But, again, it doesn't have a huge library. So, like... You know, it is what it is. The Wii, I never really liked.
A big part of it is, like, they're not churning out games as fast as, you know, other consoles. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe their engine just can't support, like...
They are known for having less power consoles. So the thing with Nintendo is, like, they are not who you go to for, like, a high graphic, beautiful looking, like, gameplay.
Yeah.
What they're known for is they've always been like, we want to be the, like, accessible, more affordable console. That was supposed to be, like, their thing. That's not a thing anymore. Like they don't feel like the Switch is still cheaper than, like, the PlayStation.
Oh, for sure.
For instance, and the games are still cheaper.
Are they?
But, like, still.
Didn't you say, like, $80 for the...
Yeah, so our PlayStation... Game? So basically when I buy, like, a first-party Nintendo game, Canadian after tax, it comes to, like, $95, $95 or something.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So what's a PlayStation run you game?
I mean, probably around the same, or like $100.
I think it's, like, about 100,
like 100,
right?
112, something like that. But, like...
Because usually they like, I think
if you're buying like a on release day, like, you know, brand new game,
that's
like,
the
I think
other
they
thing.
Tend to retail for like $79.89.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
So that sounds about right. So it's pretty close, and also the difference is Nintendo games, like, never go on sale, but, like, most other consoles, like, after the big thing comes out, it, like, slows down. But Nintendo has a very specific, like, center on its IPs, like, anything to do with Mario, Zelda, that kind of stuff always stays really expensive.
Yeah.
And the new Tears of the Kingdom, that's coming out in a month, so excited, we'll talk about it later, it's gonna come out $90 base price.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see, like, they haven't inflated the prices in a while. Like, you can often buy things from Nintendo at $80 and you're like, oh my god, this was not worth it. Breath of the Wild, 100% worth that money. I have sunk hundreds of hours into that game.
Yeah.
So I'm not really upset about it being more for Tears of the Kingdom, but, like, you also, if you buy a Kirby game, it's also $80, aka almost $100 with tax.
Yeah. And
a Kirby game, like, I bought Star Allies. I beat it in under 2 hours.
Oh, that's disappointing.
And I spent $80 plus tax on it.
Yeah, that sucks.
That hurts.
Yeah.
The new 3D, slightly more sandboxy kind of Kirby game. Also pretty short. Not 2 hours short, but pretty short. Pretty easy. Especially if you play with a partner. A lot more worth the price tag, though.
Yeah.
So it really just depends. But for some reason, there's certain games Nintendo pumps out, and you're like,
I don't even understand.
That is not worth it.
I mean, it's only DLC, but like the next DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn, or for Horizon Forbidden West, DLC Burning Shores is coming out in like a week or two. I've already pre-ordered it. It's like $30.
Yeah.
And it is going to be like a full extra map, like a full campaign in a different place.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be well over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Of gameplay. And like it's going to be beautiful.
Oh, I'm sure. Horizon, like, and
so
again,
excited.
Like, you could not make those games run on Switch the way they run on PlayStation.
Yeah.
PlayStation is a whole other ball game. So I do wish I had, like, one day we'll get a PS5, but again, it's like even more money. I've had the original Switch for quite a while now, and they haven't come up with like a new console yet. They've got the Switch OLED, which is just a bigger, better screen and better battery life. They also did like a battery upgraded Switch a couple 1 or 2 years after the original Switch. I still have the original.
Oh yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
And again, Nintendo, they make neat things. So like the Switch is a pretty cool gimmick where you can play handheld and on the TV super, super easy by just popping it in and out of the dock.
Yeah.
And like no other company has done that. So, I mean, you can get the like Steam Deck now, but that was after
What's
Nintendo.
That? You can play PC games on a handheld?
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the Steam Deck is it's just a handheld, and you just like log into your Steam and play anything on Steam in your hands.
Weird.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Crazy.
I haven't heard like as much, like there was a lot of hype for it at one point. It also was like, I believe it's cheaper than the Switch, so that's cool. It was kind of like the replacement for like the PSP kind of a deal.
Right. PSP was good.
Yeah, it was good. I didn't have it, but I got to play it sometimes.
I had it. I only had a few games, and I never got too into it.
Yeah.
But it was handy to have for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Switch also did Nintendo did the Switch Lite, which is a only handheld Switch.
Yeah.
Which
seems...
It's strange. What they did is they knocked like $100 off the price tag, and it's essentially they kind of marketed it so like, you know, you can buy each of your kids a Switch Lite kind of a thing, and you can't play all the games on it. It doesn't really work with like Nintendo Labo and some other stuff because it doesn't have the docking feature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and it's like some other stuff, like I think maybe with the online or something. I don't know. I'll never get it because I'm like, why would I not get something that I can do both with? That was the whole point of getting a Switch, right? And
that's why it's called Switch.
Yeah, and I still love my Switch, and it has a huge roster of games now. Yeah. Like not all like, you know, IP original Nintendo games. Those do take a while. Yeah, there's a massive library on the eShop for the Switch, so there is that. Also, they're coming out with waves of Mario Kart DLC,
right?
And you get a whole new cup, which is 4 or 5 tracks every like month or two. You just get a new cup, so you pay.
Yeah, that's pretty huge.
You pay for the online expansion pass one time, and then every couple months they're like, here's another cup, here's another cup, here's another cup. And you're like, holy shit, which is great because Mario Party 8 has been out since before. It was a Wii U title.
Kart 8?
Yeah, sorry. Mario Kart 8 was a Wii U title that got put on the Switch, and they have never updated it, like upgraded it to like Mario Kart 9. Like they've never sequeled it. And we were always like, where is the next Mario Kart? Where's the next Mario Kart?
But they're just giving you
and now they're just like loading you DLC, which is great because there wasn't that many tracks. Do they ever put on
like a new driver?
They have just started that.
Oh, nice.
So we're getting, I forget her name, that little cute little pink dinosaur girl.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna kill me.
Like blooper or something like that.
Something like, it's not blooper, but it's like...
Yeah.
Something like that. So we're getting her...
Yeah, they spit eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting her, so that'll be cool. So I'm expecting maybe more additions in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo lovers, like, they get it. And it's totally okay if you didn't get onto the Nintendo track until the Switch, or maybe you only played the old stuff. Like, there's a sparkle about Nintendo that, you know.
It's true.
It has something.
The NES and the SNES.
Yeah.
And they're great.
Yeah, they were great, and they held a lot of nostalgia.
Like, great. But, you know, I could still play Battle Mario.
Yeah.
If people wanted to.
Yeah.
But no one does anymore because there are bigger, better
There's
games.
There's bigger, better stuff out there, yeah. Yeah, so. Anyway. Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's all we got, guys. I mean, that was planning. That was a long, casual review of Super Mario Bros. The movie.
And then some other junk we talked about.
Yeah, some other tangents. Yeah, and tangents, I feel like we should say.
Yeah. And we'll leave you at that.
Yeah, we'll leave you at that. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Reach out to us with any questions you have or comments about the Mario movie or otherwise. We're also on the hunt for more guests to have on the show. So if you know anybody or you want to be on the show, please send us an email or reach out to us on Instagram.
Yeah.
We would love it.
Yeah, even if you want to, like, nerd out about some show.
Literally anything.
Yeah.
It could be an interview about you. You could be just passionate about this one particular thing that has to do with animation somehow, and we will love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We love it all.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening. If you have as much fun with these episodes as we have making them, consider following us on Instagram and Twitter at Evening with an Artist.
Get up-to-date news on future events, episodes, and more.
You can also check out our website, eveningwithanartist.com, for a look at previous recordings, interviewees, news, and upcoming shows.
We would love to hear from you, so send us a DM on Instagram or email us at jordanandrich@eveningwithanartist.com.
Don't forget to join our community on Discord and see where it all started.
Here, you can chat with other members and submit your interview questions.
Did you enjoy the music? All the tunes on our podcast were created by our music man, Dougal Dawson. To learn more about Dougal and listen to an uncut version of the Iwa tunes, you can find him on our website.
If you'd like to support the show, visit the donation page on our website, linked throughout all our social media, to help fund equipment, production, and guest speakers.
Until next time.
I've been Rich.
I've been Jordan.
And this has been Evening with an Artist.